Pratiklere en geç Kiko gelir. Genelde çok geç gelmez de ses kanalına en son o girer. Takımda en ciddi Pietro. Çünkü oyun içi lider. Rolü gereği ciddi olması lazım. O ciddi olmazsa biz de ciddi olamayız. Pratiklerde en çok şakayı alucard yapar. Bazen şaka yapar, takımın ciddiyeti bozulur. Herkesle çok samimi olduğu için herkese şaka yapar. Bizim takımda clutch'larda en güvenilir alucard. Bazen hiç beklemediğin anda mucizeler yaratabilir. O yüzden o clutch'larda olduğu zaman ona çok güveniyorum. Bugüne kadar hiç pratik iptal etmedik, hiç geç gelen oyuncumuz olmadı. En akıllı oyuncu benim takıma sorsanız beni gösterir ama ben Pietro diyeceğim. Çünkü oyun içi lider olduğu için çok fazla takımla ilgili vakit geçiriyor ve birlikte yapıyoruz. O yüzden Pietro diyorum. Diğeri olsa benim takıma sorsanız beni gösterir. Kendimi demek istemediğim için Pietro dedim ama diğeri de ben olabilirim. Takımda yanlış kolu yeni geldiği için Jin diyebilirim. Ondan sonra Kiko diyebilirim. İkisinden biri olarak Jin diyebilirim. Yeni geldiği için, adaptasyon süreci falan olduğu için, yeni olduğu için, bize alıştığı için Jin diyebilirim. Takımın en iyi ankoru Kiko. Çünkü onun görevi sadece tuttuğu site'da gelen rakibi yok etmek. Ankor olarak en çok Kiko'ya güveniyorum. Uluslararası olarak ROC Gaming diyebilirim. Daha çok severek izlediğim bir takım, daha çok başarı yapabileceği olduğunu düşündüğüm bir takım olduğu için. Kendi ligimizde de LCK olabilir, Türk oyuncular olduğu için. CrossFire'ı 2012'den beri oynuyorum. Tabii giriş seviyesi olarak. Kompetitive de 2022'de başladım. ROC Esports. Daha çok oynarken zevk aldığım takım diyebilirim. Çünkü çok böyle beklenmedik hareketler yapan bir takım değil. Oynarken daha rahat hissediyorum. Hangi oyuncunun hangi site'de oynadığını bildiğim için rakibin okuması, rakibi daha rahat okuyabilmek için daha rahat hissettiğim takım ROC Esports. Bu sezon için hedeflerimiz lig şampiyonluğu. En az bir lig şampiyonluğu. Diğer uluslararası turnuvaların dışında. Çünkü bugüne kadar 2 tane ikinciliğimiz, 1 tane üçüncülüğümüz, 1 tane dördüncülüğümüz var. Hiç birinci olmak nasip olmadı. Bu seneki hedefimiz en kötü bir lig şampiyonluğu. Uluslararası turnuvalarda da hepsine katılmak ve başarı sağlamak. Bunlara da takımla birlikte en iyi şekilde hazırlanıyoruz. Umarım her şey güzel olacak. Bizi destekleyen herkese çok teşekkürler. Bizi desteklemeye devam edin. Bu sene yeni kadromuzla birlikte size daha güzel bir unKnights izleteceğiz.
أنا
سنيك وسنير.
سنيك.
سنيك وأنا
سلاير وسنيك.
سنيك وسلاير.
سلاير.
لما مثلا ناكل كشري بنخش نبقى جوه الجيم نبقى ضايعين.
كنت لسه داخل التيم مش فاهم اي حاجه وكنت ببراك فهم عمالين كل شويه كل سترات وانا واقف في النص مش عارف اعمل اي حاجه مش فاهم اي حاجه.
هو في حاجه يعني انا بنام يعني حنكش في السرير اللي جنبي بيتكلم وهو نايم.
صعب افتكر.
هو ليه علاقه بسنير برضو. كنا في مره بنبراكتس وكنا اكلنا قبلها سمك مش كشري المره دي. فجه في وسط البراكتس قال لك يا جدعان انا دماغي سخنت وما عرفناش نكمل البراكتس. يعني افور شويه كده وقام قاعد يرش انا دماغي سخنت لعبنا براكتس بس ما عرفناش نلعب عادي بسبب الاكل. بنحب ناكل وكان يلعب على طول.
لا ما افتكرش حاجه.
حورس.
حورس وتوت.
حورس وتوت وسنيك 3.
انا
توت وحورس.
حورس. انا وحورس. حورس.
حورس.
حورس.
حورس.
حورس.
حورس. سنير.
سنير.
سنير. لا ما فيش.
سنير.
صعب تلاقي كل غلط من التيم.
أنا
unKnights.
لا ما فيش حد معين بعينه يعني ما فيش حد محدد إن إحنا عايزين نلعبه.
في الليج بتاعنا ما اعتقدش حد معين بس ممكن بره يعني عايزين نلعب الفرق اللي بره البرازيليين والصينيين. ليكويد تيم ليكويد وفي الصين مثلا اي جي.
هو مش فريق معين، هو بلاير معين، فلير من 3 ساعات.
ما فيش حد بعينه، بالذات في الليج عندنا ما فيش حد بعينه. ممكن بره، ممكن وولف يجي. يس.
محلي مفيش يعني هنا عادي الحمد لله مش يعني ماشي الدنيا. اللي عايز اقابله تاني فاسكو، دخلوا فالكونز دلوقتي، هم دول كانوا سبب ان احنا نخرج بس، وحصل كام لقطه كده هناك انا مش مبسوط بسببهم يعني، فدول انا عايز اقابلهم تاني.
ما فيش حد معين، اي حد هيجي على السكه هو عارف بقى.
سنير وسلاير.
سنيك وسنير.
الكل الصراحه يعني الكل ما فيش حد اقل من التاني، هو الكل بيبقى يعني ما فيش عندنا حد مش واثقين فيه ان هو هيعمل حاجه هتكسبنا الراوند او كسبنا الجيم عامه، فالكل لا الكل واثق فينا بيعمل حاجه زي كده.
في الكلوتشز اقدر اقول سنير وسلاير.
سلاير وسنير.
سلاير.
حورس.
لا لو في حد هيكنسل بيقول من قبلها يعني.
ايه. حارس.
انا برضه
حورس.
حورس سعاد.
لا ما فيش، لا.
انا طبعا عشان انا الاي جي اللي بتاع التيم، فانا اللي هو تيم كابتن.
هو مش اذكى، هو ممكن كده بنفكر في الجيم، بس ممكن اقول سنيك وسنير برضه.
سنيك وسلاير.
سنيك.
سلاير.
سلاير وسنيك.
اذكى مش عارف، حماده سنيك ما هو دايما يعتبر اكتر واحد، احنا كلنا بنفكر بس هو دايما هو اكتر واحد بيفكر بس، فهو ممكن اي قرار يعمله هو بيبقى يعتبر على حسب ذكائه يعني، فهو بيبقى اذكى واحد فينا يعتبر.
توتزن.
سنيك وحورس.
توت وسنير وسلاير.
بيست انكر. انا
توت. هو كلهم لو اتحطوا في سايت هيقتلوا اي حد يخش عليهم، بس توت ما شاء الله عليه احسن انكر في التيم.
انا بقالي 7 سنين بروفيشنال، ومثلا بقالي بتاع 11 سنه بلعبها عادي.
من 2019 تقريبا كومبيتيتيف، من اول 2019. لا عادي، دي من بدري بلعب عادي من بدري، لكن ككومبيتيتيف من 2019 او 2018.
بلعب كومبيتيتيف من 2017.
2017 برو 2017.
2019.
كومبيتيتيف من 2020.
هدفي الصراحه من غير تكبر يعني ان احنا نحافظ على المركز الاول بتاعنا، اللي هو احنا كنا المركز الاول السنه اللي فاتت، فعايزين نحافظ على ده، ان احنا نبراكتس اكتر عن السنه اللي فاتت، ان احنا نجهز له اكتر، نبقى جاهزين عشان مش يعني ما نستقلش باي حد. انا واثق لان احنا اكسبيرينس بقالنا فتره كبيره مع بعض يعني، فما غيرناش حد من الروستر، فدي حاجه حلوه يعني ان احنا واثقين في بعضنا.
ان شاء الله ان احنا نبقى اول زي السنه اللي فاتت، تاني حاجه مش الدوري بس، ان احنا ان شاء الله نكسب اي دبليو سي.
وان شاء الله نفضل زي ما احنا باذن الله، نفضل احنا في التوب يعني، زي ما بيقولوا ان انت تطلع القمه دي حاجه سهله، بس انك تفضل فيها دي بتبقى صعبه، فاحنا باذن الله ان شاء الله ده هدفنا، ان احنا نفضل زي ما احنا ونستعد لها بقى زي استعداد اي المفروض. لو انت بتشتغل اكتر، بتقعد مع الكوتش بتاعك اكتر، بنتكلم احنا والفريق على اي حاجه غلطات بنعملها، بنحسن من نفسنا دايما.
اهدافي ان احنا نفضل زي ما احنا كده في الاول، ونبراكتس اكتر، ونفضل اعلى واعلى ان شاء الله.
ان شاء الله ان احنا نفضل اول يعني. تجهيزات بالنسبه لي انا مش تجهيزات كتير على قد ما التيم بيجهز يعني.
فيرست بليس ان شاء الله، وشي حلو عليهم باذن الله.
هو ان شاء الله توب 1، وبنسعى له ان احنا بقى بنعمل اللي علينا، يعني تقريبا بنشتغل كل يوم، وبنشوف بقى ورا الكوتش بقى، بنسمع ورا كلام الكوتش يعني.
ان شاء الله هنعمل اللي علينا السنه دي ونشرفكم ونكسب اي دبليو سي زي ما قلت.
احب اشكرهم طبعا، وان شاء الله هنعمل اللي علينا السنه دي.
اقول لهم شكرا ان انتوا لسه بتشجعونا، واسفين ان احنا خذلناكم في الصين السنه اللي فاتت، بس باذن الله هنعوض كل ده السنه دي، ويعني ما تسيبوناش كده عادي، افضلوا زي ما انتوا، واحنا باذن الله يعني هنبقى زي ما انتم ما شايفيننا كده.
بنشكر الناس اللي بتشجعنا، وان شاء الله نكون عند حسن ظنكم.
احب اقول لهم شكرا، وان شاء الله نكون عند حسن ظنكم.
ان شاء الله هنبقى عند حسن ظنكم، وان شاء الله نفضل في التوب.
شكرا ليكم، يا رب تفضلوا تشجعونا نبقى عند حسن ظنكم.
Welcome back to the final week before playoffs, man. How excited are you? This is insane. The top 4, everyone's competing. I don't know how else to elaborate. What do you think, Hazem? Welcome back.
I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited. Last couple of weeks was just hectic, to say the least, man. Everything was going on.
Yes, sir.
Every team, we thought that this team is going to win. No, this team lost. This team is going to lose. No, this team won every game for them. So I'm super excited, man. No more predictions from my side, and surely from your side also. It's just hectic, man.
Yeah, I mean, we have a very, very good lineup today. I mean, they're just competing for top 4, and I think GV is kind of gonna try to maybe push their opponent from the top 4, and then next week we're gonna have first against the 4th and second against the 3rd. So this is super crucial in the standings. How else do you think, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, GG is currently number 1, but there's still a few games left, which we're gonna witness today.
So the thing is, top 4, they are the top 4. Nothing going to change within the top 4 itself. But the 4th place for Anubis, they are the 4th place. Nothing going to change. The thing is, the 1st place, the 2nd and the 3rd, there's where the magic happens. Everything is going to change here. After tonight, we're going to see who's the 1st, who's the 2nd, and who's the 3rd. Now, all of them are on the playoffs, but you just say to yourself, will it matter? Yes, it will for sure. In the seedings, the brackets for the playoffs, who's going to play against who, that's where it matters the most. But the thing is, we've seen, man, how Anubis did within the last weeks, and being on the top 4 position, just insane, because they came from 0 to hero, man, and just...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, now we have unKnights versus ROC. I'm pretty sure that, like, these are like contenders. They're competing versus GG to get the 1st place, you know. And I think, what do you think? I mean, they're both super strong teams. I think the map picks is gonna be the most important, you know. 2nd and 3rd place, as we can see in the head-to-head, identical win rates. They're identical win rates, 77-77, man. What do you think?
I love it, man. I love how similar everything is within the last weeks. Just everything is just the same. 3rd place, 2nd place, AP is up at the same win rate is 77%, as you said. Thing is, there is no more room for 2 games. There are no more rooms for one-sided games. There are no more room for games that we would say, oh, I think this game will be one-sided. I think this game TBI will lose or GV will lose. No. Now we're speaking only 3 games format, man. Snare and Alucard, of course, the key players. But what is key players? All of the 10 players are
all key players. Yeah, I totally agree. And just like you said, now is the time. I think these matches today are even more important than playoffs in a sense, because this puts you at a disadvantage. If you lose one game, you're going to be playing against the 1st place at this point, because let's say if GG stays, then the 4th place, which might be, who knows? We're gonna have to wait and see based on the decision of these 2 games that we have today.
These games, man, everything matters. Everything matters. Beside the fact that, okay, I'm going to be the 1st place, 2nd and 3rd. Everyone is looking at these games, be like, okay, now all the cards will be shown, all the cards will be revealed, because you need every player in this specific games to reach the playoffs in a good position. Yes, you will reach the playoffs. Now speaking about unKnights and ROC, both of them will reach, but at what position, what standings, and which place?
Where are they gonna reach at this point? Who's gonna come out victorious? Because now is the time for the coaches. Now is the time for the players to show out, and all the studying and homework that they've been doing to surface and try to contend and you know, come out on top, basically. Because today is a statement. We're 1 week away from playoffs. Next week is playoffs, and I can't wait to see it, you know.
And we did see a lot of stories, man. The comeback story from Anubis side. The ROC Esports continuous win streak. Then, you know, just slowing down things up by losing 2 games, then coming back as stronger as it gets. unKnights the same. We've seen Alucard here and there. Same story for GG, Spoxy, and the rest of the boys. Thing is, these story combined just give us this beautiful West League storyline where ROC Esports tonight will go ahead against unKnights. Just give us this best of 3 that we all want to see.
Yeah, and I mean, these 4 teams, they're not just competing for playoffs in this series, they're competing for the EWC and the World Cup, to say the least. Here we have ROC's roster, Totsen, Snare, Snake, Horse, and Slayer, man. Like, there's no subs, everyone's fresh and ready to go. We're gonna see it in the camera soon enough, and I'm super excited to see what's gonna happen today. Here we have unKnights roster, Beck, Alucard, Petro, Kiko, and Genzer, man. we highlighted this so much about how Kiko Genzer and Kiko Genzer and Alucard were basically changed in the organization, and they've been performing exceptionally well.
I mean, there's nothing more that we can say about Pietro, Beck, Alucard, Genzer. Within the last weeks, from the first week till now, we've already explained, covered everything, how good of players these guys are. If it was Pietro with the IGL skills, Alucard with the golden sniper, in my opinion, Genzer the clutch master, Kiko and Beck the golden dude that we need. Same for ROC Esports, Horus Snake the mastermind, Horus the clutch master,
a lot
Snare,
of lurking,
the sniper, and whenever you just mention one name, like for example Pietro, you remember a 1v3 clutch, you mentioned Snare, you remember one against the
even a 4K, there were multi-kills and a lot of yeah, I mean, if I had to put my money on someone, I think it would be ROC, because of how old and experienced these players are, and X3BL. I'm not trying to be biased because I'm Egyptian, but it's just what I've seen from the previous matches. I feel like unKnights kind of plays a bit weaker under pressure, but I really think ROC is super strong today.
I love the fact that we reached a position and a point where I can totally disagree, not agree with you. Now I'm going to say no. I think unKnights has the
more potential.
Yes, more potential, has an edge. I've seen Pietro the last few games for unKnights; they were so good. So I think they are ready to beat ROC Esports. Now we can agree on one thing.
Yes,
we're reaching 3 maps.
Yeah, I hope so, of course, and so does the audience. I mean, sub base Eagle Eye. Wow, and Mexico as a decider. I feel like Mexico's always some kind of unique, because everyone is, how can I say, like the least played in professional esports, I think, is Mexico out of all these maps. Subbase, tell me a little bit more about Subbase and Eagle Eye.
Subbase and Eagle Eye, first start with Eagle Eye, is of course the favorite map for ROC Esports. We've seen against Entropy, or Entropy did pick Eagle Eye and they got destroyed on it from ROC Esports, so now no one can beat ROC Esports on Eagle Eye. But the question is, what will happen in Subbase? Because unKnights last game against GV on Subbase, they did win this game. Now for the ban and the picks, I don't think any team completely won the veto within the map selection. Just I took my favorite map, you took
your favorite map, and we're just gonna find it out. Yeah.
And even if 100%. We reach the decider map, Mexico, it's just this map where
it's
no
gonna
one
take
picks.
a bit of experience and skill. Yeah, I get you. Perfect analysis from my boy Hazim here. Oh no, don't be yawning, Totson, bro. Wake up, man. This is not the time to be yawning. All right, let's wait and see. I really think I don't know. I think ROC might take first map, but then unKnights might take second. Inshallah, who knows? And the third map, we're gonna have to wait and see about who studied the other person's mental and who's more formidable.
It's scary, man, because there are no room for prediction, honestly, because we've seen these teams play against each other, play against other teams, and absolutely destroy each other, man. It's been hectic. The amount of weeks we've seen these guys play against each other, just completely destroying each other. It's just insane.
Yeah, and I think this is the highlight of today, to be honest, because second game, if I'm not mistaken, it's GV versus GG, and that might be a bit on the weaker side, but yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Let's take it to our casters, Last and Elvish Guy. Let's go, baby.
Oh, thank you very much, boys. Really appreciate it. Yeah, honestly, what a great way to get this day started, right? We got ourselves two really good matchups. This one especially. This is the top dog matchup, and I honestly, just looking at the veto and looking at how everything's kind of panning out, I mean, this is to me smelling out a 3-mapper, Jordan. I don't know how you feel, but this has got to be a banger.
Look, first of all, Laz, I'm going to have to pull you up here, mate. It's not the top dog matchup. Gaimin Gladiators are the top dog. This is the second top dog. This is number 2. This is the battle for second place. So we're already off to a bad start, Laz. You're just telling porkies on the show in the first 2 minutes. unKnights and ROC, though, yeah, you're right in a sense. Obviously, this is a really high stakes matchup. These two teams fantastic, and obviously a battle for a second place position is a really high stakes game for these two. So I'm looking forward to it. I think 3 maps is a potential. I'm quite interested to see how obviously this first map goes. For me personally, I think I would lean toward ROC on Eagle Eye a little bit more so. So if they can pick up sub base here, I might give them the benefit of the doubt to close it out 2-0, but certainly wouldn't be surprised to see 3 maps coming through. That is for sure.
Yeah, this is it, and for this matchup too, for ROC, I know there was a previous game where, you know, I was able to watch this where, you know, ROC were able to get a 10-5 victory over Gaimin Gladiators on this map. So it does kind of make me, well, it makes me wonder a little bit, right? Because I think unKnights are decent on this. So I think this is actually a decent opening map for both these teams, but we'll have to wait and see. And ROC have a lot to prove because they definitely need these wins. And oh man, they're just already cleaning things up, you know, cleaning out the lockers, getting themselves some good site control already. Slayer's just trying to put himself into a little bit of mayhem here. He's just dancing around and holding a bit of a Spider-Man here, just climbing all the walls, but Alucard finds himself the triple, and now it's the lonely snare for a 1-on-2 with 45 seconds remaining, and now he needs to come up into the clutch factor for this round, but I don't know, unless he gets gifted something, but no, he's going to get a full face of lead, and unKnights, they're going to start things off beautifully.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's not too much of a surprise, is that we're going to get a really, really tight matchup here between these two teams. And it's kind of cool to see as well, because I feel like these are the two teams that clash in style the most, almost, at least towards the top end, right? ROC is typically that team that likes to be a bit more playmaking, a little bit quicker. They tend to move through the map. And as you can see, they're trying to move through the map pretty quickly here. Alucard will take down Snare. And on the other side of the coin, unKnights is a much slower paced team. They're more than happy to let their opponent come to them. You'll see them set up default a lot on the blacklist side and just sort of slow the game down. So quite interested to see how that dynamic is going to shape up. But right now, it really does look like Alucard is having a fantastic start to the day. And he's always been a big win con for unKnights. I feel like he's maybe been a little bit slower over the last couple of weeks than what we would have anticipated. And that might be why unKnights hadn't looked so crash hot coming into this week, but if he can fire up in this game, then it is definitely a winnable one for unKnights.
Yeah, definitely. And he's kind of that guy like with the Alm, like he's just so much different, right? He plays kind of that, like, you know, slow, like you said, pace. So it's definitely a little bit of a stylistic approach difference in the sense of Snare. But I mean, look, I can rant about this all day. I mean, there's a lot more things happening right now where ROC are still down by the big numbers, and Totson and Snake now remaining. They got the C4 in the back of Snake, and he's going to just slowly creep himself into this site. And now it is going to be a free plant. Let's not forget, but you can see that unKnights, they're getting active. They're actually trying to look for this engagement against Totson. Snake realizing, you know what? I got some time to burn. I don't need to commit to this plant. I'm going to go for a big firefight. This is a huge move. It's kind of risky in some regard, but maybe he might be able to find the timing of this. We just got to make sure that unKnights, they don't check their 6, otherwise he might be able to find this quickly, but he can only find the 1. Now Totson in a clutch.
Yeah, it was always going to be tough for Snake there. If he could have maybe doubled down, that might have made this one winnable for Totson, but a 1v3, well, it's actually a 1v2 and then an isolated 1v1 if he would win the 1-on-2, which he did not, so it's kind of a moot point in the end. Another solid round out from unKnights. The day progressing quite nicely. I'm quite keen to see where unKnights actually go with this series, because I think that this is probably the best look we've seen from unKnights throughout a season thus far, at least in the more recent times. You know, I think I've been covering CFWR now. This is the 3rd season in a row, and I would say I feel like this is the strongest that unKnights to me have looked. So I think, you know, is there a point now at which do they start to topple ROC on a bit more of a consistent basis rather than be playing second fiddle to ROC? Well, maybe it is this season. And again, another quick attempt from ROC. They've tried to go into that A site, and they've instantly been blasted a little bit. Kiko will fall, though. And now we are back down to the 2-on-3. It's gone from a 4-on-3 to a 2-on-3. unKnights quickly losing control of that site, and this might be ROC's first round.
It really could be, yeah. This is a good position for them, too, because, again, Jin and Alucard are, you know, in a tough position. They got some utility that they can use, but this is not going to be an easy position. And even ROC, they're still trying to get active. They're still trying to put some good pressure onto this. Still 28 seconds, so now unKnights, they have to make a bit of a decision. This is going to be a really big choke point that they have to go through. This is not good at all. Alucard gets caught in the knees, and yeah, this is it. This is Alucard. I think he's just going to have to give this up. We're going to see finally ROC back on the board. And honestly, that's what I like to see from ROC, right? I mean, these guys have been going for these A-pops pretty nicely for the most part. We've seen historically, like, that's what they did well against some of the international teams they played last year in Vietnam, but we're going to see a little bit more than that. Only down by 1 round now. Not bad at all. Still single alm for both these teams. unKnights, they sometimes get a little bit curious with it, but this time they're just going to keep it to Mr. Alucard himself.
Oh, they're going to go through the smoke. You know, again, ROC are really just not shying away from these fights at all. Jin and Beck's been able to double down as well, so unKnights will be very pleased with the proceedings so far. I think they've been very well prepared for what ROC has brought to the table.
Yeah, Brock.
Yeah, Brock. But yeah, like unKnights seem like they're totally calm in this series. They're not really getting overwhelmed by any of that speed at which ROC is playing with. I think at this point, actually, and I'm never really the advocate for this, frankly. Like you'll almost always hear me saying, I think a team should change the pace and go faster, especially in Crossfire. But I think in this instance, actually, I think ROC should probably slow this one down a little bit. It just feels like they're trying a little bit too much, too often, all over the map at the same time. If they slow it down, give Snare some time to work the picks instead of sort of rushing all over the place, then maybe that'll work out a little better, because right now unKnights are having no troubles with the pace.
No, I completely agree with you. Is the fact that, normally we always say that, a lot of teams, especially ROC, they're very slow, right? They take a long approach every time they want to go for fights, especially on the blacklist side. But I like that they're trying to mix it up. But like you said, it's not working right now. So let's just reevaluate. Let's just go back to what works. So even being down by 2, I do like that they've kind of realized, okay, look, we don't need to run through smokes. We don't need to just get super antsy. Let's just take some time, clear angles. Let's just make sure we get everything evaluated. They do a good job right now. You can see they're throwing a lot of nades on the right-hand corners on both sides. Really just making sure that nobody's going to be hanging out, holding a tight angle. Jin's on the light, so he's not going to get really too much action. And now they're actually going to retreat this with 1:10 remaining. We see that ROC, they normally like to go for this A stair pop, but now they might even try to contest this mid control. And we saw this a couple weeks ago where they like to go for the split plays, and that's what they need. They just need that opening duel.
Yep, indeed. A little bit of a slower pace from ROC this time around, and it has worked out. They've also managed to get Snare in through second mid, and he's going to be able to cut through the rotations, and, well, not even the rotations, but actually help open up the A site, as he's going to get one more onto Alucard. unKnights just completely losing control of the rotation path and obviously the site itself, and that is too easy in the end. But yeah, man, what a difference it makes. They slow things down and they're given time to work, and he definitely delivered in that round. Jin is going to survive for a little longer than I thought he would, but realistically speaking, this is a round that is done and dusted, and ROC will be getting themselves up to 2.
Yeah, I like it. And like you said, like in the very beginning, it's just kind of slowing things down, taking a little bit more time, not just running through, barreling through, trying to be aggressive. So, with the fact that they actually did put some better pace on this, it allows them to get themselves back into a 1-round differential, which is not bad at all. unKnights have actually switched up their composition. Alucard going down early, though, that's going to be a little detrimental here. That's not going to be good. But you can see that unKnights have put 2 players on A. They have Pietro that's just going to be hugging the stairs, really close on by. Kiko's going to be the one that's kind of the distraction point if they go for it. So it's kind of like a little bit of a bait and switch. It's a nice setup. unKnights realizing that these guys do like to go for that pop. But you can see how much map control they already have. Like, the C4's already pushed all the way up through mid. Like, this is madness. Like, these guys are just sitting pretty right now.
Ooh, Pietro, he's doing anything but sitting pretty. He's trying to push the issue a little bit. So a bit of back and forth right now between ROC and unKnights, just in terms of the pace changes. But again, ROC, once they sense that opportunity, they're going to go quickly through the map, straight in through second mid into B. Pietro tries to get in behind them, but he'll whiff a couple of shots, and that'll be enough for Horus to turn on him. And once again, ROC establishing some nice control of this B bomb site. Jin fighting for his life in the locker room. He's not going to be able to survive. And that is just Kiko on point here for unKnights, and he's actually, I would say, probably been their best player of late, but I think a 1v3 is a lot to ask against a team like ROC, and it seems like ROC are now easing their way into this map and into this series and starting to throw down that gauntlet on unKnights.
Yeah, and this is a team, like, again, for ROC, like, where, historically we've seen them in the past where, they always had, like, a bit, if they had a bad start, they had a bad start, but they are a team that definitely was able to, kind of get everything, picked up the laces and played a lot better and, making it more of a competitive game. It just sometimes takes a long time, but, in saying that, now things have brought back to the 3-3, so this is where now ROC, again, have made themselves back into competitive form, but can they maintain it? That's going to be the biggest question right now. And unKnights, I would like to see a little bit of a change-up from them, because we can see that they're kind of mixing things up a little bit, where, the double players at A, now they're kind of playing this, very antsy, like, turtle setup, where everybody's kind of floating around GR spawn and really leaning more towards B, which is not a bad thing. We normally see teams do the 4-1, but I would like to see them kind of go for like a little bit of a surprise attack. They might be able to find an opening duel. Kiko now is kind of investigating. This is what I mean. That's exactly what they need. So now they can just pull back on this.
Happy days. Although they do still have to be aware of a man called Slayer who's lurking around in the vent, and this entry into locker room as well. If Snake can trade it down, won't be too bad. He's unable to do so though, and Beck claims control of lockers. C4's going to have to be retrieved by Slayer. Meanwhile, Snare just trying to lurk his way out onto the site. Will eventually be spotted by Pietro. So it is just Slayer, and the trade of rounds just continues back and forth.
Yeah, really good work from Beck, though. Like, honestly, the fact that he was able to find that double kill in lockers like that. Really good isolation, and keeping the 4 alive is really nice to see as well. Like, again, these are getting to be a little bit more confident rounds, or, you know, better rounds where they're not losing too many players. Pietro should be able to get this done. Ooh, I don't know, actually. He overextends a little bit. Now Slayer might get distracted. There we go, right in the crosshairs, and okay. unKnights are going to get themselves still in a leading way, but... And again, what's really interesting about this matchup, like we said, Jordan, is the fact that both these teams are sitting at, you know, the 10-3 record. You know, there's kind of a lot riding on this in terms of seeding, right? Like, this is important for both these teams, so that's what I was kind of saying. It's top dog matchup, but I know it's technically not top dog, but almost top dog.
It's a nice clarification. Good little caveat.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it's almost surprising, though, isn't it, that ROC was not really in a position to fight for top dog, and I think that largely did come down to their game against unKnights back in week 3, which they lost. That was on Compound and Eagle Eye. So there is a precedent already. And I think without that loss, ROC would have been in a bit of a stronger position to try to argue for top 1. But having lost there and a couple of other matches as well, the game against Anubis also kind of springing out in my mind. Raised a couple of alarm bells in the mid-season there for ROC. They also dropped one to Gaimin Gladiators. But, I mean, so it definitely hasn't been the clean season from ROC that we had come to expect in the past. And I wonder if that will pop up again here. Imagine they would lose both of their games to unKnights in the regular season. There's a good chance they would end up having to play them again in the playoffs. I mean, you're not building a very good track record going into what will eventually be a very important match.
Yeah, and there's so much history with these two teams, right? Like, let's not forget, like, even unKnights, like, it's something about when this team gets in playoffs, like, they just play so much better, too, right? They're such a threat, so, and there's a lot of history between the two of these guys playing each other in the playoffs where unKnights have, you know, let's say upset them, I guess you can say it like that, or have beaten them for sure. But, again, we'll have to wait and see. Lots more action still going back and forth, and Jin buying as much time as he can, and he's able to still dance around these missiles. A little bit of a James Bond movement, and look at that. He's able to find himself that double right before the end of the round, and beautiful anchor work from him, just kind of dancing, maneuvering. These guys look like they ain't even breaking a sweat right now. Putting themselves at a 5-3 is definitely a nice way that they could maybe find themselves a pretty big gap here in the first half.
Yeah, the way things are going here with this lockers hold, and Alucard's also been able to strike onto Slayer. Yeah, it's starting to fall apart a little bit for ROC on this map. Might be seeing unKnights set themselves up for a potential win again today. It's very early days, obviously, not even through the first half, but I like the unKnights that I'm getting. And ROC definitely struggling on this BL side. Snake and Horus have some recovering to do, but again, 2v4 is never going to be easy.
Yeah, not the two players that you normally put in like a clutch situation, but I mean, look, Horus is still alive. That's not a bad thing at all, and him and Snake actually pretty much equal here in terms of the score line and their stats, but now they need to find some duels. Right now they need to take some bodies, and Horus is trying to get as active as possible right now in the top corridor. He's trying to see what he might be able to find. He does actually succeed. Takes down Beck, and even now another one. This is sloppy. This is not good.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. It's like unKnights almost forcing the issue a little bit too much. They have a 4v2. Like, why are we pushing out? Giving 1v1 duels to ROC at that point. Luckily, they have been able to clean up Horus, and that leaves Snake very isolated and also quite low. So it should still be okay for unKnights to get this one done, but that was how you lose a 4v2.
Yeah. There was no reason for them to go the way they did, but now they're playing this well. They're playing the buddy system. They're playing the instant trade, and look at that. Snake was kind of expecting them to come through the other side on the stairs, And that's tough, right? Like in that kind of a situation, you have to go for a decision and you just stick with it. You can't have these little, micro second guesses because that can really cost you. But a good attempt here from ROC to bring back that round. A little bit scary and dicey from unKnights, but look, they get it done. They put themselves at a 6-3. Not bad at all, considering on the GR side on a map like this.
I think you take it for sure. It's definitely a map where you can get a bit of work done on the BL side. So unKnights should be feeling really quite confident about where they're at the moment.
Is he drinking water from a wine glass? Did I just see that?
I didn't see, but it's possible.
Okay. Man, Pietro's just, he's the best. You love watching him on the cams. Well, I'll come back and we'll make sure. I'm curious anyways, but only one jersey. No Horus jersey today. It's going casual. Business casual, if you will.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Totson too. I'm blind.
Totson
and
as well.
Snare. Oh, okay. I'm just... 2 people are only officially
I don't
jerseyed
think
up today.
Snare was in a jersey. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, all of them have jerseys, I guess. And it's like it's an official game. But maybe it's not part of their contracts or mandated or anything like that.
Possibly, yeah. Get you in the zone, though. Definitely get
Not
you
sure
in
what's
the
going
zone,
on here. We got a bit of a break in the halftime here.
Maybe. Big chill vibes over here. Yeah, but honestly, I always get curious with, ROC and like I said this a little bit earlier on, but again, just kind of going back to it is the fact of this is a team that, notoriously can have like really slow starts. And they're a team when their backs are, against the boards, they do a really good job of like finding a way to keep on swinging and, trying to make hits as much as possible. But I mean, they know there's a lot riding on this, like in terms like if they can find this win, this can definitely put them in a big potential for, a second place seed, which would be nice. Just considering like, what we saw from a lot of interviews, these guys like to, they were talking a lot about like, we're not losing, we're going to win the season, we're going to do this and that. Like there's a lot of confidence, I'll say, and a little bit of ego in there, which is not bad, but now they have to really kind of stick to that, right?
So apparently this is a tech pause. Some issues on the ROC Esports side of things. Not sure exactly what it is, but we'll get through it, hopefully, fairly quickly. It didn't seem like there was... okay. I say from the outside, it didn't seem like there was too many issues, but they did only get 3 rounds in the first half, so that might be some cause for concern for ROC. So I don't know if there's something else going on, maybe, that wasn't immediately obvious in the server.
You saw those cables right behind Horus. Maybe one of them's loose, Look at that.
There's a lot of cables. I mean...
That is a lot of cables.
I guess it takes a fair bit to have a setup. I mean, I don't know how many PCs it is in there. It's probably, it's at least 5, probably 6 or 7, depending on, if there's a coach PC and like, you can see one up the top there as well, above Snare. I don't know what that is, if that's maybe like a server PC or something like that. Network or something.
Probably network, yeah. It's a lot of computers in one room, regardless.
Yeah. So a lot of cables. A lot of computers means a lot of cables. Probably a lot of heat as well being generated. So hopefully they got some good aircon.
Surprisingly
ROC is
enough,
the only team that has a team house. Is that right? Oh no, Anubis as well, and
yeah, Anubis
TBI actually, I think as well.
TBI,
all the Egyptian teams.
Yeah, they're all hanging out together. One big happy family. Families. Yeah. I like it. But I was gonna say, like, even like I think you and I talked about this before. Is like, I there's no way I could play in the dark like on nights. These guys are all in the dark. Like I don't get it. But look, if you're gonna be a 6-3, like maybe they're onto something. I don't know, but I feel like my eyeballs would just burn off. But look, these guys are fragging out.
Yes, sir. Maybe there's a strat to it. We're back into the second half here, and as expected. I was highlighting this at the start of the match. ROC are a pretty quick team on the BL side. unKnights, really the antithesis of that. They're more than happy to sort of set up and sort of sit around for a little bit longer. Are starting to think about exploring the vent. But yeah, no aggressive moves being made really by unKnights here at all. They didn't try and take wood control. They didn't try to go quickly into control room at all. So probably just see them slow the pace down quite substantially and just try to cross the T's and dot the I's, and it won't take them too much to actually get through this half, particularly if they can start it well, and really start to put that scoreboard pressure on ROC.
Yeah, I do like it because unKnights maybe, we're kind of expecting ROC might try to do something aggressive, like you said, like maybe trying to go for control room or, maybe even radio or something like that where they're just going to push through and try to get some quick map control maybe. Oh, that's a nice shot though. A bit of a nice angle for Alucard, so he wins the sniper engagement. That's a good kickstart because now you can see they're going to put that pressure a little bit more through mid. They can make the decision if they want to go through radio here, or they can keep on going through this tight corridor in towards on the side of jail maybe, but instead, they're going to wait things out. 40 seconds is remaining, so this is where they kind of need to get going because now ROC, they're starting to load this kill feed a little bit now, but some pulsing back here from unKnights. Pietro finds himself with double. Not bad at all.
They've got to slide that C4 in. Pietro's going to die to the nade. No, he's not. Actually, Alucard is the one that's going to cop the grenade. Totson now tasked with the 1v1, and it is just an aim duel.
What?
In the end, Alucard's head will get ripped off, and ROC will win the first round of the second half. That was a little problematic for unKnights because they got all of the control that they needed. They had the control of the A site, but they had lost the bomb at the doors to wood, and unfortunately, they couldn't get it into the site and get the plant down, and they just lost 3 players in quick succession trying to recover it.
Yeah, but really good work from Totson, right? I mean, clutch factor once again, but I don't know, though. That's nuts. I honestly thought, unKnights were in a decent position, I thought, but clearly not. Some good shots, though, regardless. A little bit more patience here from the defense again. Nothing too antsy, nothing too pressing forward. They're just going to wait things out. The only player really is Horus that went kind of on the top of A stairs, just looking in wood. Now they're going to mix this up, actually. So Snare, that communication that Horus is like, you know what? You can have this for free. Just post up, go for the engagement, then you can just fall back. This is good. This is a little bit of moving actively. unKnights, though, look like they're kind of predicting that this could be here. So a decent read. C4 by itself, though, that's a little scary, but nothing here to worry about. ROC's not really looking to press much on this, but a lot of respect given so far on the BL side from unKnights. They're really just taking this slow and steady.
Watson cleans up Pietro, who was just hell-bent on charging into lockers, but nicely traded by Kiko. So we are back to 4-on-4. That'll start to split the map open a little bit, and in response, Snare going to get a bit aggressive in through wood. We'll catch up with Alucard. ROC are looking pretty comfortable so far on the GR side, and we're definitely setting ourselves up for a close map finish here.
Yeah, like, I'm just so surprised that unKnights, again, they're just kind of sitting so much. 35 seconds, now they have to go. Now you're going to see they're going to re-aggress into wood. Snare, some warning shots, a nice flash, again, reposition himself. He's just going to continue to fight this, maybe. Oh my, what a beautiful shot. Keeps himself alive, looking for more. Finally will get taken out. And now Horus, close on by, joined by his teammate Snake here from the top ground. A 2v2 with 10 seconds. They have to get moving. This is just going to be firefights, and it's Jin once again to save the damn day.
It's a big round, though, for unKnights just to keep themselves in pretty supreme control of this map. Great trade by Kiko there. You could see at the start of the round. And as you mentioned, obviously a big old clutch here from Jin. Picks up those final 3 kills himself and makes them look super clean as well. The headshots coming through. Gives them a 3-round lead. And so unKnights are, once again, just controlling this game. And it's ROC that are still having to try and play catch-up. Guess this might be another tech pause out again if people are getting out of their chairs. It's just going to be rough if this continues, but at the end of the day, everyone wants to make sure the setup's working okay. I mean, the other alternative is this is just a attack timeout that's been called because someone needs to go to the toilet, but I feel like that's a pretty useless use of attack timeout and what could be a very important series. And so you want to be making full use of these attack timeouts.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And unKnights are, surprisingly to me, like I don't think we ever see them play this slow on the Blacklist side. So that's what I'm a little bit surprised with. But maybe they, have been doing some homework and noticing some different gimmicks from ROC that they're like, you know what? Let's just play it really, really slow and wait things out. But I mean, some of these rounds are getting close. Like even that previous round, like let's not forget that was like what, just under 10 seconds remaining in it, and like they had to go for fights, right? Like that's the crazy thing. Like you always have to have the time constraints of, you know, getting the C4 down. You have to make sure nobody else is just kind of lurking in the site. So it's definitely some dangerous game they're playing, but I mean it's working for the time being. But unKnights seem to be edging out nicely into this sub-base game. ROC they definitely have shown us some weaknesses, like, you know, through the CFWL, also internationally on this map. I was kind of hoping there'd be some more improvements, but maybe they're saving strats for the playoffs. Speculation? Could I be right?
Speculation.
Tinfoil hat is out.
I mean, look, it's not an unreasonable thing to have a little bit of a discussion about, because I feel like it has typically been a thing that ROC have not done super like well, or haven't won the regular season, or ROC or 3BL as it were, but then they've gone on to win the overall season. 2024 season one, they won the regular season and then won the playoffs as well. But season 2, it was LCK that won the regular season and then won the playoffs as well. So, you know, it's not as if ROC have been an indomitable force. Could go back even further and have a look at 2023 while we're waiting. Back in 2023, that was. So what, 2023 season 2, 3BL came third, and GV actually won. GV back in the day. Not bad, but yeah, I mean, they've fallen off a lot since then. And season 1, 2023, GV won that one as well, with 3BL coming fourth. So you can see that sort of slow rise, and obviously the roster has changed a fair bit in that time, where, you know, they've made various upgrades and changes and whatnot. GV have barely changed at all, but 3BL certainly did quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's not as if 3BL have been like a super dominant force that have like literally won everything in the regular season and then gone on to win in the playoffs as well. Like, they have shown some susceptibility in the regular season matches at times. As to whether or not they're actually doing it specifically saving strats or whatnot, I don't know that I would necessarily say that is the case, but I think that they don't come into the regular season with the same gusto as what they would into a playoffs match, which is literally like a do or die. So it is a bit of a different story.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, it's, you know, this gets to be a point where, like, both these teams are respectfully in the playoffs. I think it's more just about the seeding, like we talked about. So there's still a lot riding for it, but that's where you, like, to me, like, you almost don't want to show all the cards, right? Like, you're gonna just you're gonna toy with a few ideas. You're gonna see what maybe can work, maybe won't work, and I don't know. I mean, ROC just tried something a little bit different, but unKnights, oh my, that trap is quite big. It finds all three, and even Horus now down to 2 single health points to stay alive. So this is not a good round here for ROC at all.
No,
unKnights
not in the
might be able to
slightest.
find an 8th.
Yeah, that's just a horrible round, to be honest. I mean, there's not much that you can really do about it. I guess they've tried to go for a setup, and it's been scissors, paper, rocked by unKnights. The only thing is, I would like to see unKnights just kind of, again, group up and hit a side together. Like, guys, you have a 4v2. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we trying to hold on to Locker's control if the rest of the guys are going toward A or making a rotation? Like, that just seems unnecessary. So unKnights would be wise to enjoy this A site control while they've got it. Horus will go down pretty early on in the piece there to Pietro. So it does look like the round will be locked in pretty comfortably in the end, but Slayer almost made it interesting.
Close, but no cigar. Now, if my memory's right, I think unKnights have set themselves, 8-4. I was going to say, I think they're getting closer and closer here. So this gap has really gotten big. So now for ROC, I mean, I like that they, like, again, you have to put yourself in the position they are, right? Like, they were down by 3 before. They were trying something a little bit differently. Honestly, it didn't really look like the best execution going for that locker or radio control. It just felt like unKnights were ready for it, though, so really good read from them. But I like that ROC were trying something different, realizing, you know what? Okay, look, we got to find an opening duel. We're losing a lot of challenges here, so we got to do something different. Let's set a different tone on this, and unfortunately, that tone did not change for them. But for unKnight fans, it's definitely looking good, looking pretty, and this is looking like a decent opening map here for unKnights. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, unKnights went for this pick too, so we're rightfully seeing why, and Beck even now finds himself an easy duel once again, just losing these bodies too quickly.
Yep. Yeah, this has not been a particularly enthusiastic performance from ROC today. Horus will catch Beck, and it's just another one of these little moments for unKnights where you've really got to question, like, what are they doing with the player advantage? They've been able to get it so consistently, and it's kind of frustrating seeing them throw it away like that. Like, Beck's going to go through the smoke into wood on his own and then lose a 1v1 duel against Horus. Why are we not pushing 2 or 3 players through at the same time? If that's what we want to do, if we want to take wood control through a smoke, why are we doing it solo with Beck? It doesn't make sense. Okay, if he goes with 2 or 3 players, you've got a very good chance of at least trading 1-for-1. You take out Horus, you know he's going to be that A anchor guy. You can charge your way down the stairs and plant the bomb. But now, Beck goes through on his own, and all of a sudden, unKnights are back to a 4-on-4, which is a much more difficult round to negotiate. And they've lost a bit of that map control as well. They don't have any player in wood, so fast rotation to come across here from ROC, and unKnights are going to have to hit some banger entries onto this B site to make it work, which they haven't really. So the round has fallen apart despite an opening pick for unKnights, and it's on to Alucard to try to clutch it out, which he very well may do, because he's a good player, but not good enough this time as Slayer will shut it down. And I think ROC have been a little bit fortunate in some of these rounds that unKnights are maybe not quite crossing the T's and dotting the I's in the way that they should be.
Yeah, it's a really, really good point. It really is. Good analysis. And, I mean, now you can see Horus. Oh, okay, now they're starting to feel a little better about this. Winning that previous round, Horus, you know, just goes for a massive run. He wants to just get that radio control. Now it's a better execute. Like you said, now we're seeing players, you know, playing together, playing a bit more of the trades, not just having one player, like, going on their own for the hero play. This time, at least, they're starting to put the good pressure onto the right points. And Horus, I think, no, that's actually Totson. He tries to re-aggress on this. I don't know. That might be a little bit careless, but at least it's retrievable. Back and forth trades we go. And now ROC, I don't know what has happened here. They've been able to make some good work with a better team aspect onto this, and leaving it to Beck on his own. Surely not. ROC might be able to find themselves a 6th round here very quickly.
Yeah, I would suspect so. These are some kind of crazy off angles that almost no chance, surely, that Beck's going to be checking Snare's position, or it's just a case of whether or not he gets caught in transition, but will be spotted out in the end. And so ROC, as you've said, do get themselves their 6th. And while it's been looking good for unKnights, I am seeing enough susceptibility in some of these rounds that I think ROC could definitely pull this back.
Yeah, they definitely could. And that's the thing, like with the lead, you know, we always talk about pressure. We always talk about, you know, making sure it's the job ain't done yet until you hit that point. But ROC are, again, a team that definitely notoriously can make this a comeback game, and they're doing it. And I think going back to your original point is the fact that I think it's unKnights that are just like you said, not crossing a T, dotting the I's. I think there's just a little bit of a disconnect for them. What was working well in the first half seems like it's not really the same case here on the BL side. And they're kind of playing the same pace. They're playing this very slow, defaulty setup. They're not really doing anything. They're just waiting things out a lot. They're burning the clock. So this is kind of like an old school, like 3BL little bit of a play, really.
Pietro, going to check the lights above locker room, clear that one out. And unKnights are definitely looking like they want to set up for a B take, but they haven't actually taken any of the avenues of attack just yet. Alucard, tasked with that job, will fall to Totson. Good trade by Pietro, though. But in the meanwhile, Kiko did go down, trying to work his way in through the mid-connector as well. And so, forces falling all over the place. unKnights just faltering at this last hurdle. Could have had a 9th round earlier on in this half if they would have maybe just slowed things down, but as we sort of reiterated, that solo push into wood, followed by what eventuated in the rest of the round, has kind of blown up in their face, and now ROC have built some momentum off of it.
Yeah, you know, unKnights are definitely having some big difficulties, but that's actually going to help a little bit here. Pietro, though, I mean, both these players critically low, less than 20. And now Snare, I think he actually does have the spot. I think he just spotted Pietro. So this is where it gets a little bit weird. It's 20 seconds left. C4 about to run into the hands of Snare, and that's it. This round's going to be over with unless Pietro can find some duels. But no, ROC have been able to make themselves in a huge deficit, closer to a tie game now, where unKnights, we got to see something different from them quick. Otherwise, ROC, they're just going to ride on this big wave of momentum and take this map one away. And again, the pick of unKnights is, it's starting to backfire a little bit.
But it might not be done just yet for ROC. They still got to work hard. Another opening pick this time for unKnights, and hopefully they'll be able to put it to good use. This time just as a unit are charging their way in onto Horus's position. And that is much better from them. They will lose Alucard on the entry, but overall, you'll take that trade. Nice shot in from Kiko as well as Snare will miss his. And that will surely now be the 9th.
Ooh.
Beck late in on the push through wood. Catches up with Totson too. So overall, unKnights are still in a pretty favorable position here. Just got 2 bites at the cherries to try and close out this map. It could have been done a little bit easier, but they probably should still be the ones to walk away with the dub on Subbase regardless.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the fact that for me, like, I think, you know, someone like Beck that's able to put up like a huge multi-kill round, gets the opening duel, gets the entry, and then I think it was Pietro right behind him, you know, that just runs down A stairs and they find that secondary duel instantly. So I love that they don't have to rush something. They actually just, you know, go from like a gear 3 to gear 4 and look at how much different it is. Now we're talking about a map point that's on the brink for these guys. That's all they needed to do is just find themselves a little bit quicker, not just sitting back and giving all the map control for the defensive side. They finally put a little bit of action behind their words, so I like it. Now that it looks like a bit of maybe potentially a timeout here. A lot riding on this because ROC are now going to need to put up some consecutive rounds of pushing an overtime situation. But this is a tough one, right? When you're on the 9th point, you always kind of wonder, like, do we mix it up? Do we do the same thing? Like, you always have a lot of thoughts here. So it's kind of the battle of the minds here for Beck and for Snake here.
Yeah, lots to think about. I mean, 2 rounds, it's not a super comfortable buffer, to be honest. And again, we've got players out of their seats, so maybe a tech pause again. There's been a few issues in this series so far. I don't know, man. I think, yeah, look, if I was sitting there with 2 rounds the lead, I wouldn't necessarily be feeling super confident about closing this one out over ROC. We've seen so many times 2 quick rounds just kind of get knocked over, especially on a map like Subbase. You know, it is a map where you can get work done on both sides. It should still be unKnights, but I think 2 rounds, it's still just not quite enough to be super comfortable with. So would have wanted to get this done a little bit cleaner if I was unKnights, but the opportunity is still there, and now it's theirs to grasp a hold of, and they'll be putting themselves in a good spot if they do get the dub, because they'll then be moving into Eagle Eye, which is a map that they did beat ROC on last time as well. It was close. It was 13-11, but precedent is being set that they could win this series, and they could potentially do it in a 2-0 fashion if they're able to win this first map. I mean, unKnights don't mind a bit of Eagle Eye themselves. Like, they do play it every now and then, particularly against the better teams. Like, it's actually a map that they play against Gaimin Gladiators quite a lot. They play it against ROC quite a lot. And it's almost like, for some reason, between these top 3 teams, Eagle Eye is in the pool. And then in any other matchup, Eagle Eye is not there. So maybe it's just a case of, well, these top 3 teams all feel like they play Eagle Eye, and they feel like they play Eagle Eye pretty well. So they leave it open, whereas everybody else is banning it. I'm just looking back in the series, and every single series that unKnights have actually played Eagle Eye, it has been against either Gaimin or ROC. And they've lost it twice a game, and they beat ROC on it. So something to be said there, but we'll see what happens. We still have 2 rounds to get through on Subbase first.
It does make me happy to see, though, like a map like Eagle Eye, right? Because again, like, it's a map we don't normally get to see in the regular season. So I think I feel like this season alone, you know, we've definitely seen way more Eagle Eye than I can remember personally. Like, I know it was kind of this like random little pop-up here and there sometimes, but with the BO3 format, I think we've gotten gifted a little bit times with, you know, teams having to kind of extend the map pool a little bit more in some way. And Eagle Eye being that one map over Mexico makes a lot of sense to me. So it's cool to see for sure. Always makes it a fun matchup. But look, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We're not on Eagle Eye yet. We're still on the first one. And unKnights now, sitting back, burning some time. They've already gone through a minute. So ROC have, you know, again, played this a very passive setup right now for the defense, kind of putting a 2-2 at the A, you know, and the B, and leaving it just here for Snake on his lonesome. This is a little bit scary because in this position, he's kind of pressing forward, and if he's not careful, and if he gets taken down instantly, this could be problematic here. And there's 2 guys just on the other side of the smoke. This is not a good situation. Finally going to get joined up here with Slayer, but it's a trade, and Snake is able to find this double kill. I don't know how he gets away with it. So the IGL has been able to just find a pop-off moment, and now unKnights, it's kind of really hit the old barricade.
Yeah, Horus getting in there as well and getting involved, and unKnights, well, this round is gone. No doubt about that one. Alucard's been spotted out as well, and so ROC are going to go charging in his direction. He's found himself a couple of kills. C4, though, in the possession of ROC still, and he can't turn on Horus quick enough. So ROC are themselves within 1 round of pushing it to OT. This is what I'm saying. Like, 2 rounds gap is really not that much. You cannot write home about it at all.
Yeah, it's not a big buffer at all. Because now all ROC need is this 1 round. We're pushing overtime. So now unKnights are finally going to just put themselves a little bit quicker on the pace. But look again, Snake. He's just able to have a huge bite on this. And now this might just be overtime quickly as we see the speed run. And unKnights and unBeck just finds himself a double kill. Not going to be much more than that. And ROC have been able to find themselves down the golden road here to get themselves to overtime.
Yeah, very worrisome for unKnights that has actually been secured by ROC, because they've been the team that's constantly been fighting from behind in this half and even in this entire map. So what does that mean actually when they now get to have a little bit of an advantage and relieve some of that mental pressure off of themselves? I don't even think the first half was really that good at all from ROC. You know, we didn't really see anything that would indicate that ROC was in good form in that first half. You know, Snare wasn't up to his usual tricks with the Orm. He wasn't getting too many picks. In fact, he was actually dropping to Alucard a little bit. I didn't see any real clutches out from any of the ROC players either. They did start to come alive a little bit in the second half, and you don't want to allow a team like ROC to come alive. I'm seriously concerned for unKnights' ability to close this map out now. I think they've really missed a trick. They had such a lead. They had an opening in that 5v4 round and let that one fall by the wayside, and some of these later half rounds have really not looked too inspired at all. I mean, just a rush in towards B in that final round, hoping to catch ROC off guard with the timing, but ROC's a pretty damn good team. You know, if you're going to make that entry, you need to... Okay, if your first player goes down, you have to be trading that immediately. It took them way too long to find the second trade, or the first trade, I should say, and at which point the second trade is like almost never going to happen. So, yeah. ROC are in a good spot, in my opinion. Momentum is with them.
Yeah, you know, and I agree with you, Jordan, because like the one thing I didn't love about unKnights on their BL side is the fact that they were kind of just, they're playing this, you know, very passive setup, and it kind of felt like they were just relying on ROC to push forward and then them finding the opening duel, like that they can put themselves in an instant 5v4. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that every single round. There's going to be only these sporadic moments that teams are going to be pushing a little bit on the GR side. So it felt like unKnights were wanting Beck to be the entry player, or maybe Pietro to be like the guy that kind of goes in first. And really, if they couldn't find it, it just felt like the round was just a toss-up, right? Like it felt like there was a huge swing for them on the win percentage column. So I don't know. I think with this little bit of a break we're seeing right now, we're getting ready for overtime. This is where unKnights need to really reevaluate their game plan, because the GR side was good. It was a 6-3. Everything was looking clean. Really didn't look like there was too much stress at all. It was the whole BL side that really just became a problem for them. It just felt like a lot of second guessing, not really sure of the game plan they want to go for. It kind of felt like they did in the beginning, but really it was just the same track on repeat over and over.
At least you get a little bit of a reset heading into the OT. So they can slow things down, and it looks like we're maybe loading in a second here. But I'm calling ROC from here. I don't know about you. I feel like ROC closes it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's the thing. Like, it's hard not to, right? It's hard not to put that like bit of an advantage for these guys, just considering that now they've put themselves back into contention of this game, and massive momentum shift. Honestly, yeah, I agree with you. Unless we see something better on the BL side, I think, you know, this is a good lean on ROC to get this first map.
I'm not going to lie with you, Laz. I think they're actually in the game right now. Yep.
Ooh,
rolling back on over. Yeah. I could see the you can see in the background of the player cams there for ROC that they were sort of running around. I was thinking, oh, okay, are we going to go back in or not? But didn't miss any of the rounds, so that's good. Yeah, is ROC going to kick things off on the BL side here, and hopefully get themselves off to a good start.
Yeah, let's not forget 6-3 first half when ROC was on the BL side. So, and again, sorry, only 3 rounds for them to be clear. So it was not the greatest. So we'll have to see if they can do a little better. And unKnights showed us a good defense so far, but so kind of going back in the old faithful maybe, but I don't know, maybe their confidence is shaken a little bit. Maybe things have changed, and I don't know. We'll have to see. That was a good amount of time for them to have a bit of a reset. Figured the strategy, the game plan a little bit more. And ROC are just sitting back, hanging out. Not even having a stroll. They're having a picnic, you know?
I'm glad to see that they have slowed it down a little bit, ROC, to be fair, because that faster play wasn't really working for them in regulation. They're going to work their way in through the vent, so this is undoubtedly going to end up being an A finish for ROC. And if they can find the timing, they will be grabbing Beck as he tries to work back into the window. Kiko, in the meanwhile, did get one, but A site control starting to be lost, and now is lost as Totson will finish off Pietro for his second kill of the round. 2-on-2, the plan is going to go down. Advantage now falls onto the side of ROC as they just trying to get themselves off of the site for a little bit of a better post-plant position. It looks like they have been successful in doing so. Snake has been able to clear out the stairs position, but that's left Totson high and dry, and now it's down to Snake one-on-one versus Alucard, and this could be an absolutely massive round that will go the way of unKnights. Good shots in from Alucard, and unKnights strike first in the OT.
Yeah, barely though too, right? Like right down to that 2v2 turning into the 1v1, but again, relying on a clutch factor a little bit here for unKnights. Not bad at all. And it was the fact that, you know, I think that was Snake that was down first, if I'm not mistaken, or I can't remember who it was, but it was the fact that, you know, the one player from ROC went down pretty quickly and like that 1-on-2 little bit of a situation really kind of bit them in the behind a little bit. But look, unKnights will take it. That's a good way for them to get a little bit more of an opener for them, a little bit more of a good measure. And now, again, going right back to this double A setup, you have Pietro that's going to play right on the top of stairs. We saw this before, him and Kiko. Little shake and bake, little bait and switch, little hangout, but that's the question if ROC even want to entertain this idea. Smoke that's going to get thrown, I think that's actually going to land right in front, I was going to say, of Alucard, so that's going to be a decent amount of utility work. Ooh, not bad at all.
Three nades getting tossed in there by ROC. Hoping to find a player stuck behind the boxes. Not something that unKnights have employed in this round, so a little bit of wasted util in the end for ROC, and they may well default back over towards A. Horus has kind of snuck past Pietro when already has a pretty good spot at the top of the stairs, which was unexpected by Kiko, so he's able to overwhelm him and start to push his way down into the A site. Once again, an A finish, this time from ROC, though, without any control of window.
Yeah, this is a cool little bit of a retake because you got a 2-and-2 right now. So you got a Pietro and Beck now. One of them is going to get spotted. Totson just jiggling, looking for this fight. So now Beck, and it's going to be more of a tough task for him. A lot of attention on him. So this is not bad on Knights. They have to get active a little bit here from the two players in radio. Beck going down early. This is not good now because there's only 14 seconds, and now everybody has just hit the grave, and ROC bounced right back into this with a perfect post plant. Lock it down, throw away the key, and unKnights were not welcome in that round at all.
No, certainly not. A 2-1 here for ROC would be a massive result. So final round of this OT in the first half will be a big deciding factor on which way this ends up going. Horus very quick down toward the A stairs, and Kiko is going to have a bit of a look at that, but there's this high-low setup that Snare and Horus have gotten. Kiko shouldn't be getting away with it, but he will because he's just hit 2 heads, and unKnights might just win the round right off of that.
Man, that's beautiful. And like you said a little bit earlier on this game, you know, Kiko is definitely one of those guys that joined this team more recently, or like late last season, and he's really just... He finds a lot of really good moments for himself and gets these really pop-off little bit of situations, so not bad at all. The fact that he can find a double kill like that just shows the raw aim that he has for him. And now leaving it to Snake and Slayer. These two guys left in a 2-on-5. This is not good. This is not a good position for any ROC fans right now because unKnights, honestly, if they can just even play like 2-and-2, like they're pretty much in the best position. Pietro kind of even poking on this a little bit sketchy in my opinion, a little bit risky, but it pans out nicely. Gets the C4 dropped as well. Makes it even more problematic for Slayer.
Mate, this is impossible for Slayer. I've never seen a more impossible round than this one.
Oh dang!
This is you literally could not win this. There's no chance. 0.
I hope he wins it now.
You run this simulation a billion times. I don't think he wins it once.
A billion times.
Tell me how are you going to win this? You've got no HP. They have full bomb control. It's a 5v3. They would literally have to walk at him one by one with their screens turned off for him to win it.
Well, hang on. One by one, maybe. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh, look, if this, man, I just hope it works, because then I could
This
just say,
this would be the 1 in the billion round if he would make it work. But
that is true.
Looks like I'm right again. Bam. Damn.
Roasted. Got roasted again. Perfect analysis. But no, you're right. Honestly, yes, the chances of that were like a 0.0001%, right? Like, it's honestly, unKnights would have had to absolutely thrown that round away. I agree with you, but I will say nothing's impossible. But Slayer made it a little fun and interesting. But yes, not bad at all from unKnights. Close off that first round of overtime, getting the 2-1. Going to be pretty good for them to maybe get themselves back into a winning way to get this map pick of theirs under their belt. But we'll have to wait and see. Things are going to get switched over now. And what do ROC do? I'm putting a lot more of attention on unKnights only because like their BL side was just, it wasn't good. Like, it really wasn't. So now, what's Beck going to do to change up the game plan?
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of had the pass score actually there in the first half. A 2-1 half for the GR side. Felt like where this regular rounds have gone, and now it's gone the way of, again, a sort of 66-33 split in the OT as well. The important part is that ROC start this one off with the first round. If they don't start the first round, then it means they're going to have to go through to Golden Point to win this, which would still mean winning 3 rounds in a row from there.
Yeah, which is not impossible. Not fun, but... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Ooh. Yeah. Hot dog. This guy can snipe. Really
yeah, I think it makes for a pretty good start to this half for ROC. I mean, Snare getting those 2 kills. Nice little confidence builder for them. And unKnights, true to form, generally bringing this kind of slower play. I mean, to be fair, when they tried to go super fast at the end of regulation, that did not work out for them either. So, seems reasonable to sort of just try and slow it down again.
Ooh, that's a weird miss from Snare. A little uncharacteristic. Now sitting in the triple. Why not make it a quad? Why not just find them all now? Puts himself in a prime position. Jin's going to be able to find the lurk of Slayer. So now, can he be able to find himself an ace here in the overtime round? Horus might be setting himself up to allow his teammate to be put into a great position. C4 dropped on the bottom of the stairs. So Jin is dealt the worst hand in the world. So again, maybe we talk about that simulation, the 1 in a billion chance. But Horus is going to take the ace away. But you know what? It's going to be a round win regardless. But you love to see it from somebody like Snare, finally stepping up the way he should be, putting himself in a highlight moment when it matters most. And we're right back into a tie game just like that.
That makes this a winnable game for ROC. And unKnights will be making no changes to the initial setup. Another very default play. And I honestly think that is the correct way to play when you're playing against ROC, because ROC are liable to sort of throw a bit of a spanner in the works sometimes on that GR side, go for a push somewhere. But it doesn't look like unKnights are going to be getting that in this round.
Ooh, Snare's looking for more. He's a little hungry for it. Decent nade from Horus. A little bit of damage on Kiko. Not bad at all. unKnights again. Yes, they're being a little active, I guess, but this is one of the tendencies we saw from them, is just really sitting back. They finally get this wood control, which is at least something. But they got to do something with it. And actually, they're just going to completely retreat on this. So actually, they might even just go for the split on B. They're going to abandon this A setup. Not bad at all, because you can see that ROC have actually put a decent lean on A. So if unKnights can get the perfect timing, find this kill of Totson, that might just be enough opening for them.
He's definitely hovering. Slayer will be able to pivot to pick this position up if Tot does fall, but he'll go forward for 1, and he'll fall, and Slayer drops as well. So this has worked out perfectly for unKnights until Snake comes through for the trade. Morris and Snake needing to work their way back in through from the A bomb side, and Snare on a little bit of a flank. He'll drop. This might be the round that unKnights need to put it onto map point. Smoke in the way for Snake and Horus, and what can they really do? Snake is on a rotate away, but time ticking away in that meanwhile.
Yeah, really good utility usage here from unKnights. I was getting a little bit worried because Jin was the one that was pressuring onto this, but oh man, things have turned around. 10 seconds. Oh, this is not good now. Jin finds himself a kill, but he's got the arm out. It's only 6 seconds now, the defuse. He has to stick this. He actually gets off of it. I think Jin might have been able to save the day for them, but I don't know how he gets away with it. But my God, he does.
Yeah, a little bit too close for comfort, but unKnights do win themselves the round. So once again, they're going to give themselves another chance to try to close it out here. This will be their 3rd map point. And if they let this one slip, then I mean, it should be ROC from there. That would be a little bit too many opportunities given away, in my opinion. They've got to get it done.
Yeah, I'm honestly so impressed with Jin. Like, you know, again, I remember watching him a couple seasons ago. Like, he was always a decent player, but I really feel like him being on this team has really just changed him up a little bit. Right, we talked so much about in the beginning of the season the roster shuffles that occurred, and I just feel like Jin has really played himself a really big influence on this team. So it's great to see. But let's see if the teamwork can make the dream work here for unKnights now. With, like you said, map point is on the brink again. I feel like we said that so many times for these guys. Snare's going to be able to find this one, but can he find the second? Indeed he will. So actually, Petro dropping it a little bit now, and oh my goodness, this is going back and forth, and ROC actually do prevail on it. And we might be going to the golden round just like that, and Kiko, unless he does, maybe in a possible situation, but yeah, too much of a tall task for the young gun, and we go the full damn distance here, Jordan.
Yeah. Golden round. And it is ROC to play it on the GR side, so they have that advantage at least. unKnights, are they going to change anything up going into this one? Well, it's not the immediate standard default setup from them. They had quite a force push towards control room, but nothing happening there.
Man, cheeky. Okay. We actually saw, I think it's been pretty even, I think, in terms of Alucard finding picks through this angle against Snare and vice versa. So it's been actually, I think, relatively close encounters for the head-to-head. But all down to this, Jordan. One round determines the winner. And unfortunately for unKnights fans, I mean, they're still on that BL side, so they got the weakness on their backs. But we want to go for it. Slow and steady again. They have not mixed this up, Jordan. This is this makes me nervous. Makes me wonder if they're in their heads.
Yeah, maybe. ROC are not exactly doing anything to change the situation either. They're just playing a very, very standard hold. But over toward A, there is a lot of pressure going, but it's not actually going to be a commitment. That is a fake. That's a fake from unKnights, and Snake has figured that out pretty quick smart. He's going to shut the players down in middle. Slayer still watching for the lurk in onto B. He'll get Jin, and it seems like ROC are setting themselves up for success. unKnights have given themselves 3 map points and failed at every single one of them. ROC needed only 1. They get it done in the golden point, and that is so disappointing for unKnights because, I mean, they really should have probably got that done in regulation with the lead that they had, but the fact that it now goes 2 map points in regulation and a map point in OT and still the way of ROC, it's got to be a massive tilter for unKnights.
Yeah, it really has to be, and like you said, it was their map pick too. So it really felt like, again, like I know I feel like I'm broken record here, but it felt like the BL side was just really a problem. Like it just felt like everything was relying on their offense where they couldn't get anything in motion. The defense seems so good for these guys, but unKnights, yeah, they're gonna have to go back into the lab after and figure things out for playoffs. But look, I mean, we can analyze this all we want, but let's leave it to the experts. Take it away, boys.
I mean, Laz and Alfish guy, we've learned from you. You're our role models.
We did.
what a game. All the muscles in my body were clenched, to say the least, man. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal.
Let's give credits where it's due, man.
Yes,
honestly, this should have ended earlier, man, from unKnights side.
Yeah,
in the regulations
they
round.
didn't close out. Yeah.
Yes, this should have ended so much earlier. I don't know what happened exactly with unKnights. Maybe they throw, maybe they choked. Of course, you know, whenever you choke in the last few rounds. The 2 rounds, you start, I need to end this map, let's rush it, or let's play it slow, we need to end this as soon as possible, and that does not happen. And from ROC side, you have to give it to them, man. Snare, you are on another
I was just
level,
thinking that,
man.
I swear, I was just thinking that. Snare, I think, I wouldn't say solo carried, but this proves to you the level of expertise and composure that this player has, that when times are tough, he managed to clutch and win rounds on his own.
Yes, thank you, man. Beside the fact that, okay, he's a good sniper, he's a great player and everything, you don't get such a huge impact every day on the last few 3 or 4 rounds with this sniper, because everything is shaky, the adrenaline. I was stressed. Imagine the players. Everything is super intense, and he just keep going over and over and over again. The amount of clutches that he can get for him and his team, and that's also give credits to Snake, man.
Yes, sir.
He's IGLing.
He played some vent points, man. He would sneak up behind them, and then sometimes he would just free fire the smoke. And very, very, very well played. The strategy that was put in mind for ROC to clutch out this game and finish it in such a clean with the golden round was phenomenal.
You guys need to remember that this is a map picked by unKnights.
Yes.
And that makes us question, will we see a quick I want to say quick, but will we see a 2-0 from ROC side, or will unKnights revenge and actually get ROC's map and take us to Mexico?
I mean, I really hope that we go to Mexico, because that, to me, as part of the audience and the host, and you being my analyst as well, we would help break down the professionalism of
100%.
each player and how they will be able to play a map that's a bit unusual for both teams and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I know. Look at the highlights, man. It's in like phenomenal. The headshots, the accuracy. I think this is just warming us up to what playoffs, giving us a taste of what playoffs is going to be like.
For sure, man. We are watching and witnessing peak CrossFire gameplay. Let's be honest here. The game that started for unKnights and came back in the mid-game, back and forth between both teams, took us to overtime, and then witnessing a great win. And what I love about these games, in the games that give us the playoffs vibes, is you cannot predict anything. Maybe you can predict the whole series. It's gonna end 2-1 to who? I don't even know. It might end to ROC Esports, it might end to unKnights. Everything can happen in the CrossFire world.
Yeah, and it's extremely entertaining, and I'm pretty sure any CrossFire player out there is just watching and learning and absorbing all the mechanics and the utility usage and all the other things that were involved in this first game. Imagine the day has just started. This is game 1.
Yeah, man, imagine this is only game 1 and this is only the start. And by the way, we do have another game with GG and GV next. As man, I can't recover from this game, but we have to talk about the next map being ROC Esports map, Eagle Eye. I mean, we did see them in Eagle Eye before, just destroying. It's their favorite map, and it's rare to see a favorite map as Eagle Eye. We do see Compound, we do see Anchor for mostly the Egyptian teams, TBI and Anubis and ROC Esports. Seeing Eagle Eye and seeing a team perform on this map over and over again just put the expectations super high that this might end 2-0. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
No, I definitely agree. I've seen a pattern where any of the Egyptian teams, whether it's TBI, ROC, or whoever actually, even the Turkish teams, they love to play Eagle Eye because for some reason, they even on defense side, they usually push out, get a pick or two, and then rotate back and play defensive. And that's very, very, very, very, very unique to watch and understand and learn.
I think, honestly, unKnights did have their chance to end the map and take us to the decider map, but they didn't take it. That makes me think and say that ROC Esports would learn from their mistakes and would not do as unKnights did and actually would end this quick, man. And If Snare keeps the same performance,
Momentum,
yes, I think it's going to end 2-0.
I mean, I don't want to be biased. I am personally rooting for ROC, but at the end of the day, I have so much respect for the unKnight players, especially Alucard and Kiko and Genzer.
Yes,
so
100%.
I'm just here to be entertained, and so are you guys. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen, you know, because always a best of three is always more convenient, right? More lifetime, more analysis, more caster
more
integration, you know.
man.
Yeah, I love it.
More everything. And the thing is with unKnights, they do have a lot to show.
Yes.
And they did show us a lot of good rounds. I'm super excited for map 2, man.
So am I. All right, let's take it to our casters, man. Let's go.
Yeah, and now we're on Eagle Eye, where things have made it down to the wire in the sense that, you know, unKnights now need a reverse sweep to get themselves into a winning fashion, and ROC, again, just need to find one more map, and they are gotten themselves done here for the regular season. So what are your initial thoughts, Jordan? I'm still a little bit of a toss-up for a map like this. I'm excited for it, but I don't know how I'm feeling about it.
I would have to agree with the desk, and I was sort of saying as much when we first got into Subbase there, that if ROC could pick up Subbase, I will back them to close this series out 2-0 because we know how good they are on Eagle Eye. They have consistently played it against the top teams in this competition, and they've done pretty well on it. They beat Gaimin Gladiators on it at one point throughout this season, and so that's already going to be a positive, I guess, a tick in your book. That was way back in week 2, to be fair, when ROC were still looking like the top dogs. They have somewhat faltered a little bit more lately, but a 10-5 on Eagle Eye against Gaimin Gladiators, who's, you know, a very good Eagle Eye team, certainly puts you in a position where you're feeling comfortable going into a game against unKnights, who, again, like I said, don't get me wrong, unKnights, they do play a bit of Eagle Eye. They're not going to be pushovers on this one, but I think it's probably a little bit higher in the pool for ROC here than it is for unKnights. So I will be leaning towards a 2-0. But again, I wouldn't be hugely surprised with, especially how close this series has been, not only today, but just in general between these two teams, that you know, we have a chance of going to a map 3.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely, you know, feels like with this matchup, it could be a 3-map series, but it's really going to be about how well is, you know, ROC going to put themselves in a position here where they can close it out, or maybe not. But this is, like you said, this is definitely a good map where they've done well on it. A lot of history for them, so it definitely puts a lot more of an advantage. So a lot more rounding here for unKnights to prove their worth if they can. Pietro trying to get a little bit aggressive, and unKnights actually have kind of changed up their defense plan a little bit. So some improvements that we see from map number 1 being shifted over. The fact that they're actually getting a little bit more aggressive, trying to go for these fights. And have put, you know, essentially a position for ROC where they're down by 2 players only. They're not looking too great of what they can work with. Snake's already critically low too, so this is looking like it could be a wash. Unless we see something, you know, a tremendous fall here from unKnights, but just it feels unlikely, and there we go. That should seal the deal.
Yeah, Snake would have needed to find some like unreal timing to get anything done in that position. He was super low. He had 2 players pushing in and surrounding him, and so it's just left it down to Totson, who, unfortunately for him, he kind of left the bomb as he was sort of working his way into B. Had he decided to work into B with the C4, he might have been able to get a plan, and this 1v4, he could have potentially done something there with that one, but at the end of the day, it's still a comfortable victory for unKnights. Well, I'm 1-1, by the way, just in case you were wondering. We did miss a round before jumping in here, so ROC did pick up the first round of the map.
You beat me to it. They definitely did, so not bad. And even Steven's game, and now we see Alucard's able to find himself a nice little bit of the opener, and unKnights now, the 2 of 1, not bad at all. Pietro's actually still trying to get a little aggressive on this, and ROC now just really trying to weave their way through this, and they're a little bit stuck now. Caught in the traffic jam, and now they have to find themselves to get out of this. And Pietro, once again, look at this. Just finding heads, and now leaving it all just down to Snake by himself on the 1-on-3 with a 1:45 left on the clock. But again, even with the C4 on his back, this is not a great position. You can see that Kiko's just on the other side of this. Should be able to get it done. It's a little bit scary. He's got the utility out. Just keep your gun out. Go for the fight. Why throw it? And now allowing Snake to have himself a bit of an opener.
A big opener, actually. It's in a 2v1. He's got the C4. If he decides and wants to, he can go toward B. Get a plant down, play out a post-plant 2-on-1, and Snake's the type of guy that can win a clutch. So this should have been a pretty comfortable round for unKnights, and it may now not quite be so. Plan will go down here any second now, and see what Snake decides to do. Does he back it up?
Oh.
We'll call that a fake. unKnights were too far away to hear it anyway, so it's not a big concern necessarily. He's going to go for a big wrap. How far is he going to... This guy's mad. He's going for a huge wrap. He's going to get in behind them, though. This is insane. He's actually won the round. I'm calling it. I think he's won the round.
Yeah, I think so too. He honestly, the fact that he's on this is nuts. They don't even hear him unless they... No, they don't. They have no idea. Oh my gosh, he's played this round perfectly. All he has to do is just find this kill. 14 seconds to fuse coming through. Should be a tap-tap-areno. There it is. Oh man, unKnights are going to be kicking themselves. Desperate for the defuse. Snake plays that perfect. That's got to be one of the best clutches I think we've had all season, in my opinion. Like, that is just perfect post-plant, full maneuver. And like you said, I said a small opening. And going back to your point, it was a massive opening.
Yeah, that was huge from Snake. Oh, what a cheeky play. You love to see it. He's absolutely bamboozled unKnights. So 2 here for ROC. Etro, favorable duel right now against Slayer, but looks like Slayer's just going to be able to work a way to safety. I was going to say he decides to stick around. Loses his life as a result. Totson also falling. Nice peek in there from Kiko. With Snake being low, Horus is going to have to get some real work done. Probably needs a double kill right here. He won't get it. And the only other difference maker will be Snare trying to work towards A, but the C4 will not be able to join him. So another 1v3 required, this time from Snare.
Why not? Let's up the challenge. Let's make it a little bit more difficult, shall we? But with a minute 38, C4 dropped. Oh, he spots the head. Oh, no. Oh, no. He just had to be a little more patient. Oh, I was surprised he actually went for the pistol. I thought he maybe would have brought out the arm and guaranteed a kill there, but a little bit over antsy. Cost him that clutch moment, but you know, for unKnights, really not bad at all. Honestly, finding some good success on the opening duels, putting themselves like 3 kills to the 1 loss, so you love to see it. Right back to a tie game, though. I was thinking that clutch from Snake would have allowed them to have some kind of bigger opening, or, you know, really just put the fire under them, but, you know, unKnights, they cool it off quickly.
Yeah. 2-2 though. Very much still hanging in the balance here. And if the previous matchup between these two on this map is anything to go by, this will end up being a very, very close map. I mean, the same thing as what we saw on Subbase. We're going to go tit for tat, back and forth. You're not really going to get an answer until right up at the end of the map. And it's really delivering in that sense at the moment.
Well, they're going to group up too. ROC, they're going to recontest this A site. Going to get through long. Kiko now needs to be able to find this kill. Easily done. Yes. And now Horus, the entry, can only find himself that one. But look at that. Backup is here. The crew's here. He's got his back and convincingly take this site. Beck hanging back, sitting pretty. He finds himself a little bit of a cross here. Not bad at all, but now he's got himself a little bit of a challenge. Slayer gets aggressive. Nice little bit of a setup. So not bad from ROC, despite them kind of having a little bit of a slopey or slippery start, but they do well to get the reaction from Horus going down after the entry.
Tons of util getting tossed in the direction of ROC right now, but they haven't taken too much damage actually, and looks like they'll just go right on through that smoke to try to contest B long. Still got Slayer sort of floating around in middle, making sure that there's not going to be anyone pushing out from the GR side to flank them.
Oh, okay.
It's a good start.
Not bad at all.
Not exactly working out perfectly for ROC, though, as Jin will grab one back in response.
Yeah, this is where I talked about, you know, unKnights, they do like having Jin as like the secondary on player. So it's looking like it might be a good effect for these guys. Good lean right now from the defense on B. They have a really good read on this, but now they just need to find these kills, and look at Beck. Just finds the double. But Slayer right back into this. ROC have bounced themselves back into this. I thought that maybe the ball was going to be deflated, but no. It's still got some bounce to it.
Yeah, I don't know how that's happened. We're now down to a 2-on-1, and Alucard has some serious work to do. He'll spot out Snare. That's the high HP player, but Slayer, taking a leaf out of Snake's book, has decided to wrap all the way around the back, and he now does not have to peek. C4 does get tapped. Alucard will be spotted out. The shot's a bit of a whiff initially from Slayer, but he'll get it done in the end, and ROC Esports will win themselves another round, and that lead is now starting to build out.
Oh, man. That was close. That was a little too close for comfort. Honestly, even like Slayer, he almost kind of fumbled that one a little bit. He almost dropped it, but they get it done. 4-2 is a lead for them. Now they're going to push through this mid corridor, and now it's going to be Beck is just going to be able to find a triple kill. Why not? Kiko was playing that position. Beck was thinking, look, let me switch things up. And he puts himself on the quad to end this round. So you can see ROC just go right through a funnel, and they just get to become mincemeat.
Yeah, much more aggressive start in that round from unKnights, and it's worked out perfectly. So they're going to go for something similar in a sense that Kiko, again, pushing out here. He does have a backup in the form of Beck, and ROC waiting at the bottom of B long. They'll receive a flash over the top of middle, and that's kind of set them up for the entry, but it actually didn't work out cleanly. It's over towards A, where most of that damage is being done, but ROC have not got the C4 with them, so it's not going to be a fast plan here. The round is going to slow down for a second as Snare will go back to try to retrieve the C4. Slayer wins the duel against Jin, who was on the rotate over towards A. Maybe unKnights will find another way to let this round slip.
Yeah, there's no reason for Slayer, like in my opinion, there's no reason for him to be that far away from his teammate. It looks like now he's finally going to rejoin his comrade. This is good, right? Because I was thinking if he's going to overextend like this just allows an opportunity for someone like Beck to find a one-on-one, you know, and then really becomes a 50-50 situation. And Beck is having himself a field day right now. Like, he's sitting 11-4. He is top fragging, and he's tied with Slayer. So right now, for Beck, he's got the rifle, no more utility. His barrel's been spotted. Closed off here by Snare, not bad at all. So ROC react well to the 2-on-1. Put themselves in a bigger lead on a 5-3. Double Om here for the defense still, so Jin is still going to equip it. Now this is where unKnights, I almost feel like we should be seeing a little bit different of a pace from them, something a little bit more character to it. Because what they were doing before is not working anymore. Oh, okay, yeah, that's going to do though. That's definitely going to do.
Yeah, that'll be a start for sure. Horus also going to start to work his way forward, as it does look like ROC are pretty committed to this A take. It won't be a super fast rotate from unKnights, so it's the defense that has to come through from now Beck, as he's lost Pietro. He did get himself 2, but 2 is not enough. Numbers still advantageous for ROC. They don't have to worry about the BL side of the map, the BL spawn, because ROC have got Slayer just set up, waiting for a rotate over there. They really just have to lock in on this GR-sided rotate. And in the meanwhile, get that C4 down as well. It's a good setup for ROC.
Oh, even Snare actually, with that miss, it does take down some of his HP. He gets caught a little bit. Oh, just a slight one here from Jin, just missing that pixel. So this is still a winnable situation here for unKnights. Definitely is. And Kiko being able to find this duel, not bad at all. 15 seconds though, they got to get going. And there it is. The Slayer Snake combination puts themselves at a 6-3. Not bad at all for the BL side here onto Eagle Eye. And now unKnights, they're going to have to do something big and miraculous here to get themselves alive in this game still. Otherwise, this thing's over.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start for ROC. We'll head into the second half pretty quick smart here. And unKnights, like you say, they have to work hard to bring this one back. They'll need to do a lot to start this half off well, I would say. Again, if you're going down early on in the piece, I don't know that there's much coming back from that one. Alucard, though, with a nice kill onto Snare, has opened up that A site somewhat.
Oh, continuing their winning ways now, too. And Dotson putting that rifle to a little bit of activation now and finds himself a double tap here for the head of Snare. Or Snare going, or Dotson, never mind. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just getting lost in the sauce here. And for ROC, they're actually going to push down into long. And oh man, this is a little bit awkward, a little bit weird in the fact that Alucard can't handle this threat. And there we go. unKnights finally react back to this, putting themselves in advantage. Snake is critically low. He's still finding kills though. I don't know how he's doing this. And now just leaving it all down to one of the top fraggers. He's got himself the Om. What is going on here?
ROC just throwing this round into chaos and thriving in it. That is what they do best. Down to the 1v1 now. Slayer's going to give Beck the bomb. And Hedges bets over towards B. See where Beck end up deciding to go. This is really just a game of timing and guesswork for both players, because you could literally be anywhere at this point. Slayer could be on the A side, he could be B, he could be still watching the C4 for all he knows, but he's gone over to the right side of the map, and Beck is going to have to hightail it towards A now. No, he almost wants to take the fight. Not happy with that grenade. Of course you wouldn't be. It might lose him the round. Slayer's missed a couple of shots. Beck, he's choking under the pressure right now, and Slayer has a massive advantage. It's going to come down to a headshot here from Beck. It has to. If it's a long, extended battle, Slayer will win it. It's just one tap that's required, and Beck has been spotted. Slayer takes the dub for ROC.
Whew, okay. And like you said, I think a little bit of too much pressure here for the IGL. And Beck, I mean, he missed through the nade. It just felt like it was really just kind of crumbling, right? But, I mean, honestly, how often do we see Slayer with an AWM? Like, I feel like we never see that. Am I crazy? Like, it's like a handful of times, no?
It's definitely not a weapon that he goes to often.
Worked out nicely, though. Oh, wow, look at Snare. Look at this. Little peekaboo. And now, they're just going to sandwich on in. Wow, ROC have just taken this round so easily with, like, a huge amount of space, and now this is where unKnights are really starting to fall apart. This is not looking good at all. They're having a lot of difficulty.
Well, that might just be the end of unKnights, as Slayer has waltzed his way out middle and picked up 2. ROC are once again on the warpath in round number 12. They are not giving unKnights any room to breathe on this BL side.
Yeah, and that's it kind of goes back to the original point we made, you know, like it's been talked about. Look, the first map was, it wasn't like a do or die moment. I felt like, you know, it definitely would have been good for unKnights to get that map win on sub base, but you know, you really made some good points earlier on, is that ROC, you know, they've beaten some really good teams on this. This felt like it was a really good opportunity. If ROC would have lost the first map, that they could have brought this to a 3-mapper. And unKnights are kind of getting a taste of their own medicine, right? I mean, ROC are looking really good. Really not a lot of mistakes they've made so far in this game. It's really just been unKnights not really able to find any sort of footing. The shoes are too big.
Snare goes down. So maybe still some potential in this round for unKnights, but they are going to the site with a bit of a heavier defense. Snake should have found the trade there. He did get one on the back, and Jin, he's got 2. He's kept unKnights alive in the map against all the odds. A double kill on the opener of that round for ROC. You'd think that that would be it, but not done yet.
Yeah, not done yet, but look at ROC. Look at ROC right now. Oh, they just want to get this done. They want to make it a speed run. They want to just go for a DM. They just push through mid. Look at Snare. Look at Snare. Oh, man, not a care in the world. But it backfires. The dagger goes a little bit deep and takes him out early on. So good read right now from unKnights, expecting maybe some kind of aggression that could be done here and commenced. And now ROC and a man disadvantage. Slayer here with a top fragging ability of 17. Back on the rifle, needs to be able to make some magic happen to lock things down here in the B site. C4 is going to make its way, and look at Slayer! Look at Slayer! He finds himself that double! And a little bit more for the triple, but these guys from unKnights, they backpedal a little bit now, Jordan.
Well, they can't. They can't afford to. The bomb's in a really awkward spot. I don't know why Slayer decides to go through that smoke, though, straight into Alucard. He gets a rush of blood to the head and does something a little bit silly. Now we're back to a 3-on-3. They could have just set up an insane crossfire watching this bomb, which they kind of have, to be fair. But giving up a player in an advantageous round like that seems a little nonsensical. And now Horus might have to do a lot of work. He'll dash around the corner as Snake takes the initial contact. It ends up being a 1-for-1. There's a wrap coming in around the back from Beck. Snake turning around to deal with that one. Will catch him off guard, and Totson comes through, so ROC will still win the round. 9 on the board now, and it is series point, and it looks like it will end up being a pretty comfortable series win for ROC.
Yeah, it's really looking like that, isn't it? This is crazy, too. Like, Slayer sitting at 19 kills. 3 of his teammates haven't hit 10 yet. And even on the other side here, 19 for Beck. And, oh, man, Totson now getting himself A couple kills here to get a little bit of redemption. A little bit of shooting the body too, a little BM, right? They know that there's a lot riding on this. Totson finds himself that triple kill, and this might just be all over with. Everybody's just shooting in mid, and there it is. ROC are going to get it done. Not bad at all. They take Eagle Eye with a lot of convincing ways, a good swing, and a big home run, and they got themselves done with a 2-0 here today.
Yeah, very, very clean 2-0 in the end. I mean, look, obviously map 1 took a little bit to get over the line, that one in the OT, but unKnights did not deliver on map 2, and that always felt like it was going to be a possibility. We did say at the start of Subbase, before a single round was even played, if this one goes the way of ROC, we might end up seeing a 2-0 today, and lo and behold, that is exactly what ends up happening. ROC go storming into the second place position for the season. They will not be able to overtake Gaimin Gladiators, I don't think. Gaimin Gladiators, look, if they would lose to GV, there is a potential world where they'll be tied, at least in terms of the series win-loss, but it will then ultimately come down to how the rest of the maps play out and whether or not there's a plus-minus, this and that, round differential, etc. What's the head-to-head look like? There's a lot of things. So actually, now that I'm having a bit more of a look at it, I guess it is technically possible, but that would require GG to lose today to GV, which I don't know about you, Laz, but I think that seems not super likely. So I'll say it's probably going to be ROC that will take second, unKnights that take third, Gaimin in 1, and obviously we know the rest is all sorted. Anubis are going to be 4th. GV cannot make it into 4th. They will be stuck in 5th. Entropy in 6th, 9997, TBI 8. So really, at this point, we go without 100% guarantee, without 100% locking in, and we kind of know where the standings are going to be sitting. The only question is whether or not Gaimin can truly lock in first place, but I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, like you said, I think that's what was like the big conversation about this today, was really just about, we knew that, Gaimin, they're sitting themselves in the top, of the bracket right now, but that doesn't mean they could be. I mean, if they do somehow, have a loss here today, that really is going to turn the events a little bit. But like you said, I think for ROC getting the 2-0, having the pretty big gap on the second map, I think that's going to be pretty good for them. It's definitely going to be close, but look, we'll wait for that to happen. We're going to let the desk and everybody else figure those things out. We're going to take a little break, and when we get back, we're going to get ready for the second series. So see you in a bit.
what a performance by ROC, man. To say the
As
least.
expected.
Yeah, I'm happy ROC got the victory, and as the casters did mention, I think unKnights need to go back to the drawing board and try to study and enhance their gameplay.
And I think the main point for unKnights is how can we not choke our map, man? Because if they, I think 100%, if they did win their map, and ROC Esports going to win Eagle Eye, of course, it's their map, and it's just typical CrossFire.
Yes,
and
sir.
now we're decider-wise, I think unKnights has an edge within not the individual gameplay, and I think the individual gameplay, ROC Esports do have an edge. When we speak about someone like Snake, the amount of clutches and the mind games that he can play, Snare. But for unKnights, they have an edge within the macro gameplay, the team gameplay. They know how to lurk, they know how to get their rounds correctly.
Yes, sir.
And losing Eagle Eye was just a head point for them. It's a breaking point for them because they already lost sub-base.
Yes.
And Eagle Eye was 100% going to ROC Esports. And I think within the playoffs, one map that is going to help ROC Esports over and over and over again is Eagle Eye. If I'm not mistaken, they are the only team that pick Eagle Eye, like straight up Eagle Eye, and they are the only team.
They're hardcore when it comes to
Thank
Eagle
you.
Eye. They know how to play this map efficiently. And here we have our MVP Slayer, man. What a performance. I really respect for this man and what he has done to his organization and with his teammates. I really think at least 40-50% of the rounds were kind of won simply because of Slayer and his lurks and his mind games, man. Like this guy, I think he was in unKnights' head. It just seems like it. He knew where they were, even like by a gut instinct, you know.
The guy is known for his positioning, and he's known for his lurks and flanks, and he was perfect, man.
Yes, sir.
But then the second map, even the first map, he's just known for look at most of the highlights. He's just in one position, playing with shoulder peaks, getting 1, 2, 3. He's not. Look, let's be honest, he's not the best aimer in a 1v1, but he knows how to use his position correctly, man. And that's the thing with Slayer. You don't have to be the worldwide top 1 superstar when it comes to aim, but when you know your movement and reflexes, you're okay, you're good, you're doing insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to add on what you just said, because Slayer, the way he peaks and the way he goes around the corners, it's usually unexpected by his teammates, and the way he can reach a point where he secures a kill or two before death, or even pulls back and survives, you know.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to have an interview with Slayer shortly. All right. Actually, we're gonna interview Snake, which is perfectly fine. Also, I'd say he's also an MVP. Let's take it to Snake. Hello, boss man. How are you, Snake?
Hello, I'm good.
Alhamdulillah. I wish you guys the best of luck in playoffs. Phenomenal performance by you and your organization and your team. Please send our regards as well here from the studio. And Hazem, do you have any questions?
Man, you just secured playoffs. I don't want to ask how did you guys win, what did you guys do. I want you, Snake, to say a message. Hi, Horace. For the fans, because they are excited as much as you are. So give a message for the fans. What do you guys promise them for the playoffs?
I would like to thank all the fans for supporting us. Even if we lose, we will do our best for you guys, and we will win this tournament for you. Because every match we are winning, we are getting closer to EWC, and we will do everything for it.
And I hope to see you guys in the EWC and the rest of the top 4 teams. Thank you so much, Snake. I really respect what you said and much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and if there's anything else, the fans love you too, bro. Trust me.
Thank you.
What a guy, what a character, man. Much respect, IGL, and this is why he's the IGL. Very calm, cool, composed individual. Man, and Horace was really excited there. Anyways, anything you'd like to add for game 1?
This game did tell us a lot about the playoffs, that's for sure. And it was a clear statement from ROC Esports. What I need to see is unKnights fixing their mistakes, because if they did, I'm not sure how the result will be within the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And now we're going to talk a little bit about game 2. At this point, yeah, GG has secured their top 4 and a spot in the playoffs, but you never know. Maybe if GV kind of bothers them a little bit and forces them to possibly go to the second or third standing, So we're going to have to wait and see.
It would be tilting to lose a game before the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
And to lose from
GV,
a continuous win streak against GV, it would be so tilting from GG's side, if I'm being honest. GV always, they got their bad games, they got their good games, but overall they were on a losing streak. When GG were on a continuous win streak. And speaking of the win streak, GG has one main player that when went absent for 2 games, they did struggle, aka Spoxy.
Mr. Spoxy himself,
yes.
Yeah. I think I've seen all across FPS games, Turkish players are phenomenal. They're really good. They have, mashallah, very good hand-to-eye coordination. They have a very strong game sense, and I really think GG can reach a point where not just win GV, but I really feel like if I was in GG's place, I would like to make a statement for the other 4 teams that are in playoffs and to show them who we are and that we're here to compete. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the key players for our new audience here.
Man, if you're new to this, you're up for a show. Let me tell you that Spoxy, the sniper from Team GG, in my opinion, the most scary player from a team like GG. And you can see it from his eyes, if I'm being honest. You can tell he's a bit intimidating to play against. The guy is everywhere, man. If you were impressed by Snare from ROC Esports, you should see and witness what a player like Spoxy do. And from the other side, it comes Awesome, man. Thing is with GV, yes, it's a losing streak, but Awesome, who has 40, such players, I really want to see them with the next split. Shining, man. Dominating.
And shining they are, and I really respect both teams. And GV, I'm not sure, but they might not make it to playoffs, I guess. But at the same time, they did come in for 5th place, and they had a lot of good matches and rounds where they did secure a lot of wins, even against some of the top teams.
That makes me hope, man, for a next good split for these teams.
Exactly. TBI, GV, 999, and so on. Yeah, 110%. I couldn't agree with you more because, split 1 maybe had some rough patches, but split 2, exactly, split 2 is going to be super, super, super exciting as well. And I hope we're both here to be a part of it.
Hopefully, man, because everyone now knows the temple, knows how it goes, knows the flow, knows who should I prepare most for and who should I just go in the game, who's going to warm up. So I really want to see more of TBI side. Anyways, Gaimin Gladiators, ladies and gentlemen, this is the team that surprised us all. Spoxy, Ruffin, the Clutch Master, the IGL, Flex, Leon Claw, and of course, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Design.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full Turkish roster except Lion Claw. I'm pretty sure he's Portuguese, so this is kind of interesting. It's gonna be a nice game. They look ready, they're smiling, they're happy, so I'm kind of excited. I wish them all the best of luck, and I can't wait to see GV's camera as well, man. I love looking at the medals and all the trophies that you'll find behind them. It's really, really interesting,
There's Ruffin tweeting about the game, saying, "Hey, we're
going live, boys. We're going live."
Yeah.
Loons, FaZe, Awesome, Creed, Snox. I don't see any subs, so this is a main roster. I'm not saying GG is too good for GV. No, of course not. I really respect GV as a team and as an organization, and I really think they're gonna give them a show and a fighting chance.
Man, it's weird because seeing such names, specific names, if I'm being honest, like FaZe and Awesome, even Loons and Creeds, Stocks, just seeing the names just reminds me of a lot of highlights and a lot of clutches, and makes me wonder how is this team on the top 5 and didn't make it to playoffs. So I really hope for them for a better split 2 and a better opportunity, because I think it wasn't a bit fair for them, if I'm being honest. They did struggle, but
they had a sub at some point, but NLS did a great time. All right, predictions.
Man, look, let's be honest. The second place is playing against the 5th place.
What about the maps?
Alright, man. There are no Egyptian teams here. Yeah. So here goes Ankara, and here goes... No, I won't say here goes Compound too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Ankara, and I think it's going to be sub-base, and the decider is going to be either Mexico
Yeah, decided Mexico.
or
Most
Port.
of the games are
Mexico or
decided
Port.
Mexico.
Trust me, man. I have a good feeling. Yeah, I have a good feeling. What about
I mean,
you?
I think decider will be Port, yes. And I think the first map is going to be Compound. Second
Okay.
one will be Subbase.
All right, I'd love to see the maps
I
now
hope
so
I
we
win,
can
man.
compare it. You know, that's gonna be pretty interesting
Show
to
me.
be honest.
Subbase.
Oh, okay, so you were right, and I
And
was right
Port.
with the decider. Yeah, and
Exactly.
Black Widow, interesting actually. Yeah. What do you
Black
think
Widow.
about that pick?
I mean, did we see GG? I'm not sure though. Did we see GG go for Black Widow before? They might.
Honestly, my gut tells me that they're picking Black Widow to get some practice on Black Widow
Understandable, man.
in a team that they might face a challenge and a struggle, you know. So maybe they're playing Black Widow as a means of practice as well.
If so,
that's what I would do if I was like one game away from playoffs.
Exactly, and you are playing against one of the weaker teams within the standings, and that's not my opinion. That is the standings opinion
Yes,
and the
sir.
ranking. So playing against, playing on Black Widow does have a huge impact on GG's side because you need a map to abuse in the playoffs, like ROC Esports did pick Eagle Eye. Okay, they need a map like Black Widow, a map that you don't practice on regularly, you don't play on it frequently, so you just need this one map that you can use it as the Joker card from
Exactly, yeah. Maybe they're just getting some exposure and experience on Black Widow, even though I'm pretty sure we've seen them a couple of games go head-to-head with different teams, so we're going to have to wait and see, right? I'm pretty excited, and I can't wait to go into game one, and I'm sure the casters and the audience are as well, you know. Speaking of that, I'd like to take it to our casters and bring us game one.
Last game of the day and starting things off in a pretty fun matchup again, like where we talk about, you know, for GG versus GV. So a lot of G's being thrown around here. But look, you know, Black Widow to start things off. I don't know about you, Jordan, but I was just I'm getting a little bit excited just because I think this is actually a pretty cool map pool that we got going on. The Vito's not too bad with Black Widow, and then Subbase is the second one. But I think Black Widow being the first initial one is a good way just to see what GV can bring against a team like the Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah, very interested to see what ends up happening here because GV actually beat Gaimin Gladiators back in week 3, which is one of the few losses. They've only lost 2 games this season, but one of them was to GV. So we'll see whether or not GV can repeat those heroics, or if I would say the more expected result happens and we get ourselves a 2-0 for GG today. Loons will drop here, and that'll be the end of the first round. Gaimin Gladiators pretty comfortable win there in the first one there on Black Widow, but it's very interesting, yeah, that GV have been able to beat GG. And I think that really is just like the quintessential GV result because they're sometimes amazing and they seem like they could be one of the top teams in this league. And sometimes they're horrible. So, you know, I can see them beating Gaimin Gladiators. And similarly, I could see them losing to 999 or something like that on their day. So we'll just see what day it is for GV today. And so far, it seems like Gaimin Gladiators are not negotiating this one too badly. Lionclaw down quite low, trying to hold on to this B bomb side, but they've got a fairly hefty defense on this side of the map. And Dezane kind of watching for rotates in middle. So decent enough setup for Gaimin Gladiators right now.
Yeah, it's a really good point you bring up, and that is kind of the true tale of GV, right? Is the fact that they are just so hot and cold, and again, like there is history that they've beaten them, but yeah, I think it's going to be depending what kind of GV we're going to get here today. But you know, Gaimin Gladiators are doing a great job, just you know, setting the tone on this game so far. Awesome has actually been able to get some good info, so he actually was able to just kind of peek around a little bit, but still with lots of time remaining. C4 is going to get dropped here. Raffin, a beautiful double kill, just boosted up by himself. Really just putting the nail to the coffin on this. Unless Awesome in this kind of a position can find himself on a 1-on-3. Very unlikely, but never say never. Justin Bieber taught me that once, but this is going to be a tough one for Awesome. Again, look at all 3 players. They're going in one by one. A little bit scary, but they finally go out of the clown car. They get it done, and they get themselves a decent lead here. Elfish.
Shout out to Justin Bieber one time. My goat.
It's Canadian. Fun fact.
Is he? There you go. Well, I probably would have not known that in a pinch, to be quite honest with you. So I'm glad you've taught me. 2-0 for Gaimin Gladiators, though, is a pretty decent start here. And, well, they're going to be looking for the third. Flex, lucky to be alive for now. There's going to be a nade that might follow up onto him. Doesn't look like it's quite landed. And Spoxy is definitely not someone that you want to let get online. That's a nice start for him. Zane broke down. Raffin has to find the trade. We're now into a 1-on-1 with Creeds being quite significantly lower. Actually, now that grenade has landed, this is now swung back in the favor of Raffin.
plant's going to come through. This actually, yeah, perfect, allowing a little bit of time. That's one of those awkward situations too. I mean, I was kind of surprised Creeds wanted to go for the plant right away, just considering that there was still a lot of time on the clock. I was thinking, okay, like you could just kind of, you know, investigate a little bit on that, but you know, when you go for the plant in a 1v1, like you're essentially just putting yourself in full vulnerability. So either way, look, I mean, things are looking pretty decent. Gaimin Gladiators realizing, look, like we need to get a pretty confident win here, and you know, getting a 2-0 and as big of a gap as they can is just going to solidify that even more. So loving what we're seeing from them. And right now for GV, like this looks like it might be a potential timeout for them to kind of figure out what they want to do a little bit differently, and it's not looking great. I'm going to be honest. Some rounds have been close, yes, but they're going to need to get a better kickstart if they want to get more competitive in this game quickly. Otherwise, this thing could be all she wrote.
Yeah, it'll be a roughie, I think, for GV today, based on the way things have started. I mean, the thing is, like for GV, there's just not that much incentive to really go super hard at this game because they can't improve their position, unfortunately, in CFWL. They can win an extra game, but I don't think that really does anything for them. I mean, they're going to be in 5th regardless, so it's kind of just come in, have a good time, see what happens. If you win, great. If you lose, whatever. You're not going up or down. And honestly, the similar kind of a conversation with Gaimin Gladiators, though they have a little bit more of an upside in that if they do win, they are guaranteed first place in the regular season, but first or second feels largely like a bit of a moot point. I guess if you do take first, you would be playing against Anubis. If you took second, you'd be playing against unKnights. So I suppose there's a bit of an incentive to try and take first. But realistically speaking, if you go into playoffs, you're going to have to play against everyone pretty much anyway. So again, much of a muchness. You don't get any extra prize money for placing higher in the group stages or anything like that. It's all just based on, well, you do if you're in 5th to 8th, but if you get to playoffs, obviously, then it just depends on how you go from playoffs onwards. So, they'll obviously still try to win this one, but I don't think Gaimin Gladiators are going to want to show too much in this game, just because you know next week and there's going to be the playoffs, and that's where they're going to really want to sort of lock in.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because again, like in this kind of a situation, is the fact that you know for Gaimin Gladiators, like you said, that they are in like a really good position. Playoffs are secure; it doesn't really matter at all. It's more like I was just curious if GV, like, you know, they could, you know, come into this with a mindset that even though they're not going to go up or down, it really doesn't mean much for them. They could just cause a little bit of a ruckus maybe in that top 4 placement in the sense of, you know, giving, you know, Gaimin Gladiators another loss potentially. So it is going to be a big curiosity for me. Like that's what going into this, I was kind of wondering with a team like this that really has nothing to lose. Does that kind of let them play better? They just kind of get a little more fraggy and they just kind of, you know, go full acceleration on this and hitting 6th gear right away, but we'll wait and see. Looks like we're going back in. All right, not bad. Good pickup from Creeds, and this was something we saw actually, I think it was the previous week, where he got himself a little bit more action here with the Alm, and he was starting to put up some pretty decent numbers, which is not like an unknown thing, but oh man, short-lived a little bit here, and Gaimin Gladiators once again. Ooh, okay. Hot dog.
Yeah, Lionclaw able to double down, but apparently that's not going to be enough to win this round. The Orms are doing so much work. Raffin seems to have been spotted out there over towards B, or was it just a spam from Creeds? I'm not sure. Either way, Raffin's on his way to A. And if GV are not careful, he might be able to deny the bomb plan here. Faye's not sure 100% where he's going to be coming from, so if he can pick his timing... He's now been spotted out, though. That'll make the job a lot more difficult. He looks like he's just going to try and challenge it, and fair enough. But GV will get themselves their first round.
Yeah, and honestly, like you said, it was kind of the battle of the Alms, right? It just felt like from both sides, it was just FaZe and Creeds, and you know, Spoxy was able to get himself some good action, but yeah, kind of a chaotic one. And that's kind of what I was expecting for a game like this, is really just everybody going around, just a little bit more firepower in this one, less tactics potentially. Like you said, Gaimin Gladiators, I think a team that they don't want to, like you said, they don't want to show too much. I kind of made that comment at the beginning on the first series of today. I think Gaimin Gladiators are definitely in that position right now, and you could just see nothing they're doing is like too fancy. It's just kind of putting a lot of pressure on B main, just kind of posting up, not really changing too much. Raffin has really had himself a good amount of work so far in this game. Get a bit of a reset, but I mean his score is definitely higher than 2-1 right now, so good to see Raffin is kind of performing a little bit better right now in the state of this, because I was getting a little bit nervous for him in the middle portion of the season. Felt like he kind of fell off a little bit. But ain't no sweat. And Gaming
No sweat at
Gladiators
all.
once again. Damn. Damn.
Justin Bieber's issued that one as well.
No, remember that? What was that old saying? Like, damn, Daniel? With the white vans?
Yeah,
remember that?
Where's that from? Is that a meme?
I think that it was like a meme. It was like, you know, like a, not a TikTok, but like a Vine, I think it was called that.
Oh.
Damn, Daniel.
Dude, it's crazy that Vine didn't succeed. Like when you think about the fact how short form content has just taken over the world, TikToks and Reels and whatever. They were just 10 years too soon. Either way,
that's true.
Gladiators struggling to hold on to this A site. Flex is very low. That looks like a nade that should finish him off. It was going to force him into the fight, and Creed's got it done with the pistol instead. Raffin tucking himself behind the box on long. I think it's in front of the box actually. His timing's critical, and he's actually spotted by Awesome in the end. So probably makes this round unwinnable for Lionclaw. Trying to cross the bridge solo is never really going to work. An awkward one in the end for Gaimin Gladiators. So GV kind of keeping themselves treading above water for the moment, but look, still a lot of work to be done before they can really convince us that they're going to be able to win this one.
Ooh, okay. Not bad. A lot of fast rounds here, and this is good here for Gaming Gladiators. Well, really good work from Raffin and Lionclaw together. Just post it up. Oh man, Lionclaw's able to get one more kill before he goes down. Creed's doing Creed things, but unfortunately for him, it's that's a lot to ask for a player like him. You know, that was essentially him needing a 1-on-5, an ace clutch to get that round through. Gaming Gladiators speed running this first map so far with a 5-2. And GV have not really been able to find much. You can see the Augurs out here for Kriegs. So things are turning a foot here. Jordan?
Yeah, they're starting to accelerate a little bit for Gaming Gladiators. A 5-2 lead with a 4-on-4 in this round. Could still pull us back a little if GV can pick up the last couple in the half, but Spoxy's looking great. Lionclaw also getting a lot of multi-frags happening around in that sort of mid-area of the map over towards B as necessary. So both A and B are looking pretty comfortable. Mid as well, to be quite frank. And it doesn't really feel like GV are getting anything done around the map except for when they're finding like some cheeky entries off of their arms. Spoxy, even gets himself the closing kill. And so GV have lost the half now, and it's just a question of how much have they lost the half by.
Yeah, I kind of like, you know, I'm getting a little bit worried in the sense of, you know, we were talking about like what kind of GV are we going to get here. It kind of feels like it's a bit deflated, right? I was thinking they were going to come in here, they were going to try to put up a bit of a fight, you know, maybe just get themselves a dub here regardless, but it really just feels like they're just kind of running things through. They're not really working with too much of a game plan. Now they're just going to run up short together. They're just going to try the old hold W and do everything they can. Even then, when Creeds is in a great position, he still can't land the shot. Gaming Gladiators again find themselves in an advantage. So wounded players, let's not forget, but I mean, this is the most, like, you know, winnable round we've seen for GV in quite some time.
Well,
not winnable at all, I guess.
Not this time. You spoke too soon. 7-2. That was pretty dominant. I mean, it started off looking kind of okay. It looked like maybe GV were here to contest a little bit, but at the end of it, it was like, okay, GV are just going to kind of run it down and see if they can just literally brute force their way into these sites. And Gaimin Gladiators not having a bar of it.
Yeah, I love this from, you know, from the Gladiators though. Like, honestly, the fact that, you know, they're just kind of playing their game. They're just playing, you know, they're just fragging out really well. Everybody's playing. It feels like everybody's just contributing. It doesn't really feel like, you know, one player like Spoxy's hard carrying. Like, everybody is getting a moment to frag out, and it's good to see. And like, this is a good little bit of a boost for them going into playoffs. Like we said, like, if they can find themselves in a 2-0 today, like, it's definitely just gonna 100% lock them in for number 1 seed, which is a cool thing for them considering they just got signed to a new org this season. So it's definitely going to be a nice little bit of a landmark here for Gaming Gladiators, but it'll be the playoffs that are going to be really exciting. Like, I'm looking very forward to next weekend to see who's going to be able to prevail. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? Because it's just up for grabs.
Okay. Spoxy doing Spoxy things. Not quite going to land the third shot right there onto Creeds, but has another chance at it on the way out. I mean, it's Gaimin Gladiators every day of the week, isn't it? The way things are looking like this is really not a contest anymore.
It's just bombs.
Spoxy is getting DM practice in middle. Like, you can tell that
Really?
GV are not putting everything into this game at the moment.
Is he really trying that? Is that a thing? Like, is that actually a spam? Surely not. Okay. All right. Well, again, like I said, it's not. I don't want to call it like the way it's going. It's not a warm up, but it definitely just feels like for Gladiators, at least for them, they can just have some fun with this. They definitely are. And like you said, Spoxy's getting fed. He's just getting multi-kill after multi-kill. Almost gets an ace. Let's not forget that too. So, I mean, this could be a quick day at the office the way this game is going. Like, we're talking an 8-2 already. And, I mean, right now, GV have finally put themselves in a position where, yeah, okay, they find 2 kills. They take down Spoxy. They take down Lion Claw. So they got a 4-on-3. They got an advantage. That's something to work with, but still got Flex alive on this. So double OMS here for the defense. This could be a third round up for grabs here, Jordan. This could be a GV round. Oh, boy.
Maybe so. Not if they just run it down at Flex and Raffen. But Flex is going to present the opportunity over to Loons, and as you've said, it does look like this one should be going the way of GV. Raffen going to see if he can turn that back on its head a little bit. It is just a deathmatch. It's just a battle in middle. Raffen playing a dangerous game when there's an Orm on the other side of that exchange, but he's now got himself the C4, so it's gone from DM prac, aim prac to clutch prac here.
Cross.
As Raffen will work his way over towards B, and he should get a bomb plant down, though. Creeds has seen him. Raffen going to re-peek it. He's going to wait for the peek to come through again. Ooh, thought the rotation was coming. He was correct, but he hasn't landed his shot. So
all the way around.
Now his best chance really is to plant this C4 and call correctly to go wherever they've not. Instead, he wraps in behind them. Oh, but Creeds is watching for it. All good in the end. GV will win the round.
Honestly, I felt like if Raffen just waited like an extra couple seconds, like just played that a little bit more patient, he honestly could have got that big flank, and that could have turned things around very quickly. It was interesting that he, for Raffen, the fact that he saw Creeds, but he actually decided to go back for the fight, because I think he was thinking the GV were going to be a little bit more active on the rotate, but nonetheless, a good effort, but a good round from GV. This is definitely going to help them as well. They finally get themselves a big round in the sense of, finding the triple. FaZe has got the Deg out. Okay. We don't get to see the Deg out very often, and now takes the head of Flex, and now looking for a little bit more. Spoxy with a rifle. This is something you never get to see, and a flawless round indeed from GV. This DM session is, it's turning a different wind right now.
Yeah, it's heating up. And surely at some point, Gaimin Gladiators are just going to knock this one over. Flex has gotten the better of Snox in this one, and the long exchange, well, a lot of nice space being taken by Lion Claw pretty much means the end for FaZe. So you can live by the sword, but you also can die by the sword, and that is very much the mentality for GV in this game. They have gone balls to the walls aggression, W key in pretty much every single round, and that's not going to work out in this instance.
Nah, now we're sitting at 9, Gaimin Gladiators. Map point. Ready to go. Maybe they can close it out. 10-4. Maybe, just maybe. I was thinking maybe this round was going to be all OMS or something like that, just the way we've been seeing this game going, but they maintain their inventory the same. And I don't know what happened to the 5th player of GV, but they are gone, so this ain't good. What is going on here? What is this round? Okay. No C4, they're just going for fights. They don't care about plants. And Lion Claw gets away with a double kill in the pretty much the most exposed position he could be in, and now it's turned to a 1v1.
Flex versus Awesome. 2 OGs, 2 goats of the scene. Who's going to walk away with the dub? My money's on Flex at the moment. Oh, he got the shot. He got the opportunity, but he didn't land it. It is just a pure aim battle. They are really not messing around here at all. Flex up close, won't get the chance this time. The flashbang looks like it connect nicely, so Awesome does prolong things one more round.
You know what I really want, Jordan? I want to see a stat for CFWL when teams are on the map point the percentage of when they don't win the following round. I honestly think they, like, Neo and I were talking about this a long time ago. Like, teams that are on 9 points, or the map point there, like, they always lose the following round. Nobody ever just closes out. I feel like that never happens. It's like less than 10%. Like, I really hope we can get that stat one day. That's something I want to see.
Said that. I think you said that to me last week. You know what stat I want is I want to see when a team gets to map point and then doesn't win it. How many times does Laz bring up that point? That's the stat that I want. So far, it's 100% of the time that I've been casting with him. But who's counting? That's all I'll say. Anyway, that's the end of the map. Yeah, that was definitely something. 10-5. I don't really know what to say about that one, Laz. That was truly a final game of a round robin format game, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And yeah, that was a bit of a quick one, and honestly, not bad at all. And you know, Gaimin Gladiators, they get it done pretty convincingly for the most part. But yeah, the DM session works out better for them. But I'm trying to remember who went for this pick. It was actually Gaimin Gladiators. So funny enough, they do win it, and they win it pretty easily. So Subbase will be the secondary map, but look, we're gonna have to wait and see. We'll let the desk walk us through what they think on this, because this was just a chaotic game. So take it away, desk.
And the chaotic game it was, and I have to agree. There's so many situations where one team is one point away of winning, and then they fumble that round. But nonetheless, GG, great performance. I love the energy they bring. I love how much talent is across the board, whether it's Spoxy, Lionclaw, Rafa, very, very, very strong KDAs to say the least.
I think the boys just come in ready to go, and they were just locked in, and they know it's just another day in the office for them, and they did. It was easy for them. They just jumped in the game. I would say it was a one-sided game, at least for the first 7 rounds for Team GG. It was 7-2, then the comeback a bit started from GV side. But how can you come back against a team that is super, super, super consistent? And in my opinion, Spoxy is the most, not one of the most consistent player within the West League. Not a single game he underperformed, not a single game he did nothing but perfection within the 3 games that he plays. So you have Spoxy with you, you have Flex for the clutches, you have Leon Claw for the IGL, Ruffin for the flank and the lurk. How can you lose, or how can you even imagine losing? That's why I'm super excited for the playoffs, because I want to see this team plays against unKnights, and then plays against again ROC Esports. Yes, I want to see this mayhem.
That's gonna happen. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, teams like GG, ROC, unKnights, even Anubis, I'd say, are pretty strong, you know. Like, I don't want to leave anyone out, but at the end of the day, it's super, super, super consistent, super strong players. Just looking at the highlights, it's showing you, like, these guys are locked in and ready to go. I respect them a lot.
And maybe from GV side, maybe they are, they are good, but the thing is, they have the GG side, the GG team is just better, you know. It's not that GV are doing something wrong, but individually GG is better. Team-wise, GG is better. They have more practice. In my opinion, they are more hard-working, and it applies within the game.
I mean, there's a saying, work hard or work smart, and I really think GG here is working smart. They're very intelligent with their picks. They're very intelligent with their rotations and map control overall. I really respect their aggression, and they performed as expected, to say the least.
And I think you would agree with me, and the audience would agree if you're expecting a 2-0 here. Because the thing is, we did, even judging from the first game, we did not see enough from GV that says, okay, we're going map 3. Like, we did see something similar from 999 playing against, if I'm not mistaken, it was unKnights or ROC.
Yeah, I think it was unKnights. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just curious about game 2, because at this point, GV does not seem to have much hope or consistency in order to be able to secure a victory, or to at least come out with a 2-1 loss, not 2-0, man.
I don't think it's doable from GV side, but hey, there is GV, so there is hope, man.
Yes.
Even if it does not matter the game for you guys, it won't change a lot within your standings. I mean, Anubis is a bit far. You guys are under Anubis, 5th and 4th. But hey, just show us what you can do for the next split, because I'm super excited for split 2 for one of these reasons that I'm excited for split 2 is GV, TBI, 999, Sagaza.
Yeah, I mean, to say the least, 999, TBI, and those kind of teams, they do struggle a lot, at least in Split 1. Maybe they haven't reached that consistency or the capability to extend a win or to secure a win or whatnot. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just excited to see them in Split 2. Anyways, let's go back to the topic. We're about to go into Game 2, and this is going to decide a lot. This is going to decide if GG is going to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, because playoffs is done in a way that 1st place plays against the 4th place and 2nd place plays against the 3rd. So we're going to have to wait and see how the standings look after Game 2 as well.
I'm super excited to see GG plays against one of the most intimidating team. Man, one of the 4th team is just intimidating. The 4 teams are just scary to see and witness. But I think, and with all due respect, the underdog here will be Anubis. But I don't want to go far from this game, GV and GG. I've seen from GV not enough. I think they do have more to show, and they can climb more and more within their rounds. But keep in mind, Koshari, the first round map was GG's map, so we still did not see from GV what is going to happen. And yeah, the support is there, man. The decider is just there still.
Yeah, the support is there, and let's wait and see what's gonna happen in Game 2, and the map is gonna be spicy. Let's take it away to our casters, please.
Yeah, I'm not sure, you know, I'm thinking spice maybe, like in terms of like, do we see the same thing we saw on the first map, or do things get a little bit more of a mix-up? I don't know, but Subbase is not really the most DM-friendly map, I would say, but look, I am excited to see, you know, if GV have themselves any sort of a fight, or if maybe they're just going to concede defeat here, Jordan.
Why is the C4 holding window right now when the A side's been taken? This is kind of wild to me. Well, because this could still be a lost round for Gaimin Gladiators. C4 dropped in a very awkward spot, could have dumped itself all the way down into that site. Instead, now Lionclaw has to do that. Oh, well, look, I think at the end of the day, maybe it doesn't really matter what you're doing if you're Gaimin Gladiators. You're just going to be winning this because you're sharper at the moment. Raffen in there with the jumping kill onto Snox, and that is the first round on the board for Gaimin Gladiators. Yeah, I'm definitely expecting more of the same. It'll obviously play out differently because it's a bit of a different map, but I'm expecting it to be a very fast game. And I mean, look at this from GB, 2 rounds in a row, aggressive stuff, and just overwhelmed completely by GG even. GV trying to pick the pace up straight through the doors. They've now lost the C4 and they've thrown the round. They've actually thrown the round. That was insane.
That was insane, yeah. It was looking really good in the beginning, and then they just kind of kept going. Like they were just, the floodgates were open and they were just running through it. So, And even, what has Creed's got? He's got the MP5? Like, oh my, okay. Never get to see that either. I mean, Dezane in a 1v2, and these guys are split apart from each other, so he should be able to get this kill. Back's turned, yep. But is he going to expect Creed's this close? He will not. So, not bad at all. So, GV do pick up a round that, honestly, they probably should have never had any given day, but they're going to win the simulation, and they're going to get themselves at least on the board.
Yeah, 5v2. I guess you'll take that if you're GV. But Gaimin, got to recognize that, like, look, GV are kind of running it a little bit, but they can still shoot back. This looks like it'll be GV trying to get aggressive up into wood, up through the stairs. It's worked out. A nade onto Lionclaw, and FaZe pulling out any number of weaponry today is GV. But they're making it work.
They are making it work. And this is the thing, like you said, it's, you know, GV, or GG, I should say, sort of Gaimin Gladiators, they also got to make sure they're just, like, not being too careless on this. Like, it's still, like you said, GV are, it's not like they're an underclass team that they, you know, they can't shoot back, so that's the thing. They got to just make sure that they're having some fun with it, but when you're having a little bit too much fun, that's when things could go a little bit awry, you know? So this is where GV are sitting themselves in a decent position. Man advantage. Bomb's still in control, though, for the Gladiators, so not bad at all. Is Awesome actually going to press forward on this? Ooh, I like it. Go for a run. Go for a crawl, actually. Why not?
Awesome. We'll get Spoxy in the back. That'll be the C4 dropped as well, so rotation going to come through over toward this B bomb site, but Raffen, having already picked himself up one, Does pull this one back slightly. C4 retrieved there by Flex as well. I actually think going A is a better decision right now for GG. It will mean having to go through the smoke here, but GV have actually set themselves up with a nice bit of control around B. That kill onto Awesome, though, will start to open this up a little bit. Loons has been spotted out as well. And Flex will kill Creed. So you've got to go A here. You've got to go A, they know.
There's no reason. Yeah, there's no reason to continue fighting that, right? That's what I mean. Like, you just got to make sure they keep some composure in this. Like, they know they have the 2-on-1. They got the, they have a free site, so they go for the plant. This is good. But now, how do they want to play this? Well, Flex is actually just going to press a little bit forward. So, not a bad setup because now Raffin's just going to be posted up. So, a little bit of a fakeroo. So, not bad. Gaimin Gladiators, despite it was getting a little bit dicey, they respond back decently. So, composure is met a little bit. Where is the 5th player for GV? Am I crazy? Like, did I miss this again? Who is logging out? Oh, it's Creed's. He long gone.
He's out of here. All right, fair enough. See what GG can do as a result to pick this round up a little quicker. Well, that'll be the B-side taken. Awesome. Going to go down and phase as well on the rotate in through jail. Just gets picked up. Pretty straightforward game so far from Gaimin Gladiators. Very similar vibe to what we saw on Black Widow.
Yep, just positive vibes. And yeah, this is not going to make it even better at all, too, for GV, right? Like, being down a man already, like making a 4-on-5 instantly, not great at all. And you can see that, GV are still, again, they're playing really aggressive. Like, they're still trying to go for a lot of these fights. I think Snox actually had the ammo, which is, again, something you never get to see. So, this is just feeling like, for Gladiators, I mean, they're in a great position here that they can get themselves a gigantic lead. Some self-pop flashes in. Not going to mean anything. Yeah, Gaimin Gladiators put themselves in a great spot now. Creed's finally back into the game. Good to see him back. And yeah, this is just becoming a wash. This round's already over, in my opinion, so 30 seconds remain. Awesome push back. Now they're just going to go for a full hunt here, unless... Ooh, Awesome actually did get himself a double kill. I mean, if he would have found a triple, that would have turned into a 1v1. So, regardless of that, Jordan, it's Gaimin Gladiators on top.
Yeah. Very much in line with our expectations. And again, it starts well for GG as Spoxy will grab the kill onto Awesome. He's going to try and clear out FaZe. That's not going to go too cleanly, but luckily, Raffin is there right behind him, ready to go. Battle over the box rooms at the moment. Stain, but locks it in onto Snox anyway. Now down to the 1v1. Where's Flex? He's over towards A. He's also got the C4, so it's going to be a fast plant. Time is definitely going to be against Creed, and he's also going to have no idea where Flex is. So I like that Flex has opted to play this one aggressively. He'll try to catch Creed's off, ducking in behind the box, and Creed's not going to check that one. So Flex will get it done.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a, clock in, clock out kind of game right now, and kind of serious because Gaimin Gladiators now, maybe Dezane might get a little overwhelmed here, and he actually does. And, yeah, a little bit of some trolley guns, not bad at all, I guess, from GV. Now, Gaimin Gladiators is going to get a free site. They're going to get this as the plant, but now the question is going to be, what do they want to do here with this post plant? Because you already have a couple GV players close on the heels, and Snox actually goes down. He actually commits a little bit of his own death here, so not great. And Gaimin Gladiators now are reacting okay here for the post plant. They haven't even planted the damn C4, and look at how fast GV just try to pounce on this, and they get put back into the pound.
Six and 1. This might be the fastest series we've seen this season, and there's been some pretty fast series. It's lining up for a 7-1 now as well for GG. Lionclaw does get the better of Awesome. Raffin taking Locker's control. And Gaimin Gladiators they kind of just own the whole map, really. There's a full rotate from GV over towards B. Raffin, he's doing it himself for 3K. Definitely not expecting Creed there as well. I mean, that's an overcommitment from GV. Raffin should never expect him, and so he does go down, but very nice round out of Raffin.
That's a beautiful round from Raffin, yeah, and that's like I said, like I know this is kind of like a different game, but like it's just good to see like the abilities of Raffin, because I always kind of felt like on this team, like he's such a strong player, and I always look forward to watching him play, but it really felt like there was a point where I was a little bit nervous for him, where he felt like in the slump, in my opinion. Hopefully I don't get flamed from that, but it's good to see like him putting up shots like that, getting a triple kill, opening up a site like that. I know GV's playing a little unconventional, a little unorthodox right now, but still doesn't take away the beautiful fragging abilities from him that we're getting.
Tap, tap, tap. Flex looking for it. He's keen for the fight. I was going to say maybe too keen. Apparently not. Loons is going to go down. Awesome and Creed's the last two standing. Again, no thought of self-preservation here for GG or GV, as they all just decide they want to go and have a little fight.
Okay. Like, I'm not going to bring up, like, history and stats, because I'm probably going to get chirped again, but I feel like this, but, like, I agree with you. Like, I'm going to go off your point, is that, yeah, this has been a quick game, and I'm trying to even think, like, off memory, even this season, like, I don't even think we really had a game that was this fast. I'm trying to think, like, maybe 999 had a bit of a blowout against them, I think.
There was a couple of really fast games in week 5. ROC versus 999, 10-3, 10-1. That was a super quick one. And then there was also week 5, day 1 was actually incredibly fast. 3-2-0. And I think week 5, day 2 was also really, really fast. You weren't on either of those. That was me and Neo, I think, that did both of them. But this series, it's not even necessarily the pace of the game, but the rounds themselves are also just incredibly fast. Like, you can have a 10-2 or a 10-3 that feels like it takes 20 minutes or 25 minutes because the rounds just take forever, and then there's tack pauses and this and that. But in this series, it's kind of felt like, well, we've kind of just been bullet a gate like literally every single round, and none of them have really been a weight down the timer type situation at all. We've got a bit of a pause here. I don't know if this is a tack or a tech, or I can't imagine it's a tactical pause. But, the way things are going, it's just like the rounds are playing out so quickly that they're often over in like under a minute. And that obviously speeds things up quite significantly.
It does, yeah. And I can't imagine, I agree with you, that this is like a tactical thing. It just feels like maybe there's just a little bit of a breather moment or something. I don't know. But I don't know. A little chatter happening on the cams here for GV. Everything looks calm and collected over here for the Gladiators, and 8-1 we go. My oh my, that's a lead. Deeg's out, no kills, and now Spoxy is just going to get himself some practice on the rifle. Why not? He's a hybrid player, and there we go. Things could be done and over with very quickly. Loon's just minimal HP to spare. He's running, he's jogging. He's going to find himself one more. Why not? 5 HP. If he clutches this. Oh, you're kidding. Okay. Whew.
Yeah, he is kidding.
Crisis averted.
All right, I've got this crazy stat. Since it's 9-1 for GV, what do you reckon the conversion rate on this kind of round is like? I'm just wondering.
No, don't even.
Like, I don't have the stat. I'm just wondering though.
No. I'm not falling for this.
It's looking like 50% for this game at least, right? Because they didn't get it done on map 1, but they look like they're going to get it done here on map 2. Everyone's left the server already. GV knew that was over. We knew that was over, and that was an absolute, I don't know, disaster, train wreck of a game. But it's over. Yeah, very, very quick stuff, really, and what else is to be expected?
Yeah, honestly, not a whole lot to expect from that. Like, I was thinking, honestly, like, it was going to go two ways, right? We thought either GV were going to come into this, they were going to just try to get a win just for the sake of getting it, and then just seeing if they can cause any sort of a little bit of commotion here for the top 2. But no, I just kind of felt like, they were like, let's just have some fun with it. It's really a low-stake game for us. It doesn't mean anything for them, so that's kind of the realm they took. And honestly, for this, it's going to be Gaimin Gladiators get themselves that #1 guaranteed spot, but congratulations to them. That's going to be it for us here. Now we're going to be moving into playoffs in the following weekend, but look, we're going to let the desk take things away, close things off for the day. We'll see you another time. Bye-bye.
Yes, we will see you pretty soon, Laz and Alvish Guy. Thank you so much for the casting
Thank
and
you,
all the
guys.
hard work and effort that you guys have put in today and all the previous weeks as well. That was phenomenal to say
Nothing
the
to
least. I
analyze,
really
honestly,
think,
man.
yeah, I really think GG did very, very, very well.
Yep.
I'm kind of curious where GG is now in the standings, to be honest,
We
and
will
who
see,
they're
we will
going to be
see.
playing next week as well. So we're going to have to wait and see. I'm kind of excited how this is going to pan out.
The thing is, ROC Esports did win their game, and so did GG. So it's now a bit. If I'm not mistaken, GG was the first. Was it ROC though? I'm not sure. We will see.
We're
the
going to have to
standings
wait
anyways.
and see
Yes.
the standings and some minor calculations. But anyways, I'm excited. I'm not sure if we're going to have an interview or not, but that game was... wow, man. Like, even Spoxy, just like Laz mentioned, a hybrid player. He picked up the AK and started
super easy
spraying
for
and
him.
getting
You can
kills
already
as
tell.
if he's a natural at
Yes,
this.
it was super easy.
I respect someone who has commitment to his job, whatever it may be, whether it's an esports player, a caster, a analyst, a host, whatever you want to call it. And
he's a prime example for that.
Basically,
He's a prime example for
he's
that.
showing you exactly the most important thing that you need as an individual to be an esports player and a professional.
And I think GG did make the best statement that anyone can make before the playoffs. Imagine before the playoffs, you just stomp the team that you're playing against. Game back to back, one 10-1 and the other 10-4. It's just beautiful to see. Like Anubis now watching, and same as for ROC and the other teams. It's just there. Hey, this team just destroyed GV. That's a bit scary to witness and to play against. So I'm super excited, man, for the playoffs. Honestly, it's sad to see that this is the last time for the split to see Awesome plays, to see Penguin plays.
Yeah.
Who else?
Not just Penguin. I mean, overall, the entire roster. I'm really excited to see 999 and how they're going to be capable of maneuvering their way into the next series as well. It's kind of interesting, you know. Here we're just looking at some of the highlights with Flex and the boys, man. Very, very impressive. I mean, Subbase, what do you expect? I've seen them multiple times just dominate this game and become super accurate, to say the least.
It was scary, man, to see GG plays against GV in that way and that style. It was scary, and I think that's the first time for GG to perform in that way, like absolutely destroying the other team.
Yeah,
exactly. That gap was so obvious between both teams, and the round did not end 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2. No, it was
10-2 or 10-3.
Exactly.
Yeah, 10-3. Yeah,
exactly. And the round itself, it wasn't a 1v1 scenario. It was a 5-1.
And it was always Awesome who was the last guy, and you can tell.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure they're a bit tilted, GV, because in the last round, 2-3 of the players disconnected from the lobby and they just moved on. But nonetheless, I have high hopes, and I hope they keep their spirits high as well.
I hope so, man.
Because I'm really excited for them. You know, it's just one series. There's always more around the corner.
And hey, GP, if that's split one for you guys, 5th place, it's so doable to get 4th.
It's still impressive.
Yes, and watch Anubis and how they managed to do such a huge comeback from the last position to, I remember the first week, it was Anubis versus ROC. Anubis absolutely got destroyed from ROC Esports, and now Anubis managed to win against ROC. 10-1 is something.
Yeah, I mean, 10-1 is kind of... it's not a walk in the park or a stomp. I don't like to use harsh words, but to say the least, this is just a statement for GG. Let's exclude GV from this. GG is showing the other top 4 player teams that they're here to compete and they're here to stay, and they can possibly not just go to the EWC, but like, you know, travel and get some work done.
Exactly, yeah, as I said, man, I think the best finale and the best highlight for a team before the playoffs, before the quarter and the grand finals and so on, is to just absolutely give us the best show.
Definitely.
And from the start of the league, okay.
Now the standings. All right. So next week we're gonna have ROC versus Anubis. And GG versus unKnights. Man, I cannot wait to be here next week.
That's the main event to witness, ladies and gentlemen. GG versus unKnights. That's, if it's a best of 5, it's going 5 maps. It's a best of 3, it's going 3 maps. But it's going to be in the best of 5 format for you guys. Information.
Oh, it changed. GG swapped with ROC. Oh my god, it's GG versus
Oh, that's the
Anubis. I was
updated
hoping for two
version.
Egyptian teams, but looks like it's gonna be two Egyptian teams playing separately.
Okay.
Oh wow, so ROC versus unKnights, which we've seen before, and GG versus Anubis.
But a lot
I think
has
that happened
changed,
once or
man.
twice.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but a lot has changed within the gameplay itself. Man, they fooled us. They tricked us with the standings.
And I just want to highlight one thing. Can you believe that 999 is ahead of TBI after forfeiting like 4 or 5 games in a row? I don't know what's going on. Here we're looking
I
at the
noticed
brackets,
this.
man. This is gonna be
GG.
one hell of a show. And I can't wait to be here with my boy
It's
Hazem.
super hard to
Oh my
predict, man,
God.
who's going to win. GG versus Anubis. We've seen this matchup before. GG did win, but it was super close between both teams. It went 3 maps, and now it's time for the history to repeat itself. GG versus Anubis. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, next week in the best of 5 format, if you're going to miss it, I don't know what's wrong with you guys, but this is that game to witness.
Yeah, you better be here and not miss it, to be honest. We're all going to be here, even for the new fans. If you just showed up, like, this has been a very intense series for CF West, man. And it's been hectic, to say the least. There's been a lot of shuffles in the standings and in the players, and a lot of content to observe and learn from.
Man, it's scary that the first week it wasn't like this at all, man. Things have changed, progressed within the weeks, and now we've come to this first place. GG playing against Anubis and ROC Esports against unKnights. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, and I just want to say a closing speech, to say the least. I mean, next week is going to be super intense, and it's still the beginning of the year. There's so much more Crossfire that we still have to navigate through and understand what's going to be going on. I mean, GG, ROC, unKnights, Anubis, very, very, very strong performance throughout the last few weeks. As for GV, Entropy, 999, and TBI, I do wish them the best of luck in the next series as well. It's not over till it's over, boys.
Yep.
Anyways, Hazem, is there anything you'd like to highlight?
No, man. I think we have highlighted everything. I'm super ready. I know you are. I know you guys on homes just super excited for the next stage, man. The playoffs. We've been waiting for this for days and weeks, and now we are getting it next week. You better be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a show, and I'd like to end it at that. I wish you all good night. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you all next week. Peace out.